Chapter 11:10. Hey, you're also participating in the trading meet? I'm also participating. Let's go in together. A hoarse voice asked. The speaker was a middle-aged woman with a Tao Nourishment Realm cultivation and slightly dark skin. Okay. While Ning Cheng spoke, he saw Mang Yong in the distance make a gesture to him and walk out of the Tao Hall. Walking out of the Tao Hall, there was a spacious jade-paved road. Star-form trees were planted on both sides of the road, which were lush and exuded a strong spiritual aura. Walking through the spacious road, Ning Cheng saw the majestic gate tower of the Boundless Palace from afar. The three words Boundless Palace on the gate tower seemed to fly away, with Tao charm overflowing. Thousands of jade steps extended up, and on the left and right were pavilions and towers surrounded by immortal charm. Immortal lotuses floated on some flowing water, giving this place a touch of otherworldly charm. Ning Cheng could not help but think of the Southern Heavenly Gate. The Southern Heavenly Gate should be a legendary thing, but he actually saw it here. Could it be that the Southern Heavenly Gate also existed? I heard that the Boundless Palace is made up of top-grade divine spirit veins and is filled with heaven and earth law Tao charm. Even if you don't cultivate here, your cultivation will improve after staying here for a while. The middle-aged woman beside Ning Cheng whispered when she saw Ning Cheng looking around. Ning Cheng was about to answer when he suddenly saw a man in a blue robe flash out from the side and cut the queue in front of him into the Boundless Palace. Ning Cheng's mind buzzed, and he suddenly stopped in his tracks. He did not expect to see this man in a blue robe here. This guy had competed with him for the true Yang heart. In the end, not only did he snatch the true Yang heart, but he also snatched this guy's mountain river dipper. Since this guy appeared here and cut the queue, was he from the Boundless Palace? Ning Cheng suddenly remembered what the man in a blue robe had said before. I believe that after I set foot on the Sun Moon Wind Wheels, you should have recognized me, right? You know who I am, yet you still dare to run away. You have a lot of guts. Thinking of this sentence, Ning Cheng was almost sure that this man in a blue robe was from the Boundless Palace. At this moment, Ning Cheng almost wanted to turn around and leave. This is Senior Brother Feng Yu, Senior Feng Si's nephew. He's deeply favored by Senior Feng Si. He has a pair of Sun Moon Wind Wheels, which was also given to him by Senior Feng Si. I heard that Senior Feng Si even gave his mountain and river dipper to him. His aptitude is also very high. Senior Feng Si liked blue robes, and he always wore them. His future was limitless. Although he was favored by Senior Feng Si, he didn't flaunt it. I only got to know Senior Brother Feng Yu by chance. Don't worry, we are going to participate in the trade fair. It has nothing to do with him. Seeing Ning Cheng pause, the middle-aged female cultivator who came with Ning Cheng whispered to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng nodded. So that's how it is, let's go. If he turned around and left, he would probably be pulled out and investigated immediately. At this time, Ning Cheng braced himself and could only enter the Boundless Palace. He had made up his mind that no matter how many good things there were at the trade fair, he would definitely not stand out. After the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng and the middle-aged woman, under the guidance of the receptionist female cultivator, arrived at the spacious and luxurious trading hall. The trading hall was already filled with all kinds of cultivators. Ning Cheng and the middle-aged female cultivator were both first-step Tao confirming cultivators. Therefore, they consciously sat in the corner. Seeing the sign in front of Ning Cheng's seat with Rogue Cultivator Ning Cheng, the female cultivators spoke up in admiration. Tao friend Ning, for a rogue cultivator to appear here, you will definitely have great achievements in the future. Ning Cheng also saw the female cultivator's jade card, which had Twin Rain Star Zhan Shu written on it. He also spoke up, many thanks for Tao friend Zhan's auspicious words. At this time, Ning Cheng just wanted to finish the trade fair as soon as possible. How could he be in the mood to inquire about anything else? He didn't even have the mood to observe who was participating in this trade fair. He had already seen Feng Yu sitting in a conspicuous position in front of him. Apparently, Zhan Shui was right, Feng Yu had a high status. Mang Yong, this fellow, was a jinx. The first time he went to Jiaoyang Mountain with him, he didn't get any good things. In the end, he ended up being chased by a Tao Essence Holy Emperor and forced into the Perpetual Moon Gate. This time, he came to Feng Xi's Tao discussion convention with him, only to meet his enemy, Feng Yu. If Feng Yu found out that he was here, he would be in a situation where he would definitely die. Tao friend Ning, if you need anything, you can also post a message here. As long as you can come up with the payment, you can get a satisfactory answer. Zhang Shui didn't notice Ning Cheng's abnormality and still spoke up with good intentions. If Feng Yu wasn't here, Ning Cheng would have immediately released 2 messages. The location of the first sacred Tao world. If he wanted to find the wood origin bead, he would have to find Tian Yuan. According to the information provided by Ruo Shi, Tian Yuan and that girl should have gone to the sacred Tao world. The second was naturally to release the news about the breath soil. What he most wanted to know now was where the breath soil could be found. Precious divine tea and all kinds of delicious divine fruits were brought up, but Ning Cheng wasn't in the mood to taste them. Fortunately, he had changed his appearance before coming here. Otherwise, Feng Yu would have already recognized him. After the time it took for a stick of incense to burn, Feng Xian, who was still wearing a blue robe and a holy crown, walked in with a smile and sat at the head of the trading hall. Behind him stood 4 beautiful women, making him look like an emperor. Thank you, Tao friends, for coming to the Boundless Palace to participate in this Feng Xi's Tao rite. Before we proceed with the transaction, I want to say 2 things. The first thing I want to thank is a rogue cultivator named Ning Cheng. When Feng Xian said this, Ning Cheng's heart thumped even harder. Why did he have to thank him? He couldn't be any more low-key. Feng Xian continued, everyone knows that in addition to cultivation, I also love the alchemy Tao. It's just that due to my aptitude, I can only refine Tao birth Tao pills so far. This time, Tao friend Ning gave me a pill heart divine Ganoderma fruit, which allowed my understanding of the alchemy Tao to reach a higher level. Now, I can refine Tao transformation Tao pills. After Feng Xian finished speaking, there was a burst of praise in the trading hall. Which of you is Tao friend Ning? Please allow me, Feng Xian, to get to know you. After speaking, Feng Xian stood up first. Whether it was his tone of speech or his demeanor, no one could find any dissatisfaction with him. Ning Cheng sighed in his heart. He couldn't wait to take back the pill heart divine Ganoderma fruit and smash it into pieces. Why did he have to give a pill heart divine Ganoderma fruit? The pill heart divine Ganoderma fruit wasn't very precious, but it was rare and almost impossible to find. Moreover, it had a natural pill heart, which could help one comprehend the alchemy Tao. Despite feeling helpless in his heart, Ning Cheng still stood up and said with cupped fists in fear, Ning Cheng greets Senior Feng. He didn't know if Feng Xian could see through his disguise. After all, not everyone could be like Mang Yong, who had innate Tao eyes, right? Tao friend Ning doesn't have to be nervous. Please sit down. If you have time, you can come to my Boundless Palace at any time. Feng Xian will be on call. Regardless of whether Feng Xian's words were true or not, after this sentence, Ning Cheng's status immediately doubled. Many envious eyes fell on Ning Cheng. They all secretly hated themselves for not finding the pill heart divine Ganoderma fruit and sending it to him. Ning Cheng quickly sat down. He knew that because of his nervousness, Feng Xian could sense the slight disorder in his Tao runes. He wasn't nervous because Feng Xian asked him to stand up. He was worried that Feng Yu would recognize him. Fortunately, after Ning Cheng sat down, Feng Yu just swept his gaze over him and didn't make any moves, which made Ning Cheng feel a little more at ease. After Ning Cheng sat down, Feng Xian spoke up again. The second thing is that I, Feng Yu, would like to ask for a favor from all the Tao friends. As soon as Feng Xian's voice fell, the trading hall resounded with all kinds of assurance and affirmation. It seemed that as long as Feng Xian asked for a favor, they would help him no matter what it was. Feng Xian thanked them in a very gracious manner. It's like this. My good-for-nothing nephew, Feng Yu, went to Jiaoyang Mountain a few days ago. He wanted to find the true Yang heart. As a result, the true Yang heart he found was snatched away, and even my Boundless Palace's mountain river dipper was taken away by this person. This time, Feng Xian's words were like a grenade thrown into the crowd, and everyone immediately started talking about it. Who didn't know about the Boundless Palace's Mountain River Dipper? It was one of the Boundless Palace's most famous treasures. They didn't expect that someone would dare to snatch the Mountain River Dipper. This was even more audacious than eating a leopard's gall. For a while, many voices started berating the person who snatched the Mountain River Dipper. Such a vicious person dared to appear in Jiaoliang Mountain. After everyone talked for a while, Feng Xian raised his hand, and the voices instantly stopped. Fellow Taoists, you're all friends of mine, Feng Xian. Originally, this matter shouldn't bother you, but the Mountain River Dipper is related to the future and reputation of my boundless palace. Moreover, this person is ruthless. If Feng Yu hadn't left quickly, I'm afraid this world would no longer have Feng Yu. I would like to ask Dao friends to help me capture this person. No matter who it is, as long as this person is caught and retrieves the lost things from my boundless palace. I, Feng Xian, am willing to give you 10 top-grade God spiritual veins and a primordial chaos rainbow glow fruit. In addition, he will be the most precious friend of my boundless palace. The 5 boundless palace will agree to 3 conditions for him. Even if you provide information, my boundless palace will still give you top rewards. Feng Yu, stand up now and hang up this person's image. Feng Xian's tone was firm, and with a strong Dao charm aura, no one would have any doubts. Ning Cheng sucked in a breath of cold air. Feng Xian's move was truly ruthless. Most likely, the people who came here today were all over the surrounding realms. Feng Xian's order simply made it impossible for him to go anywhere. Not to mention the top-grade God spiritual veins and the 3 conditions, even the value of the primordial chaos rainbow glow fruit was incalculable. Feng Xian was not only generous, but also rich. Feng Yu stood up, raised his hand, and waved out an image. In the image, Ning Cheng wielded the twin wings of the heavenly clouds and held the void cold light spear. It looked extraordinary, but Ning Cheng wasn't in the mood to appreciate it. Chapter 11:11. Although Ning Cheng did not look elsewhere, but he vaguely felt that Mang Yong's gaze seemed to have fallen on him. Ning Cheng felt sure that even if Mang Yong had innate Dao eyes, he would not be able to confirm that he was the one who had snatched the Mountain River Dipper. However, Mang Yong now had some suspicions towards him. It was normal for him to be suspicious. Back when he and Mang Yong went to Mount Jiaoliang, they had mentioned the true Yang heart. Now that Feng Yu's true Yang heart had been stolen, it was impossible for Mang Yong not to be suspicious. The image given by Feng Yu was copied by the crowd, while Ning Cheng also pretended to re-engrave a copy. Thank you for listening to my nonsense. Feng Xian will not waste your time. The trade fair officially begins. After Feng Xian finished speaking, he cupped his fists and sat down. Regardless of whether Feng Xian was being polite or not, as a Dao integration expert, he was polite in front of an ordinary first-step Dao validation cultivator. This kind of attitude would be praised by everyone. Let me throw the brick. I have a piece of soul transformation essence crystal. I want to trade it for a wind-attributed Dao fruit, or something similar. After Feng Xian finished speaking, a big-headed man raised a jade box and said, "The soul transformation essence crystal was an extremely precious material. Not only could this material be used for refining, it could also be fused into a Dao core. It could allow cultivators with impurities or cracks in their origin souls to dissolve their original origin souls and fuse them together again." The big-headed man's soul transformation origin crystal was quickly exchanged for a wind attribute Dao fruit. With the first one, the subsequent transactions became even more heated. Several people even took out their own items at the same time, and then let everyone bid for them. All kinds of precious materials and treasures were brought out. Ning Cheng even saw someone taking out void dewdrops and heaven-stabilizing demon flowers. Moreover, the majority of people were able to obtain items that they were satisfied with. It could be seen how high the level of this trade fair was. Ning Cheng had 2 drops of void dewdrops on him, which were top-grade materials for refining the sky-replenishing bone vein pill and were extremely difficult to obtain. As for the heaven-stabilizing demon flower, it was the highest-grade law god herb that devil cultivators needed. Fellow Taoist Ning, why don't you trade? Many treasures and materials came out to trade. Even Zhan Shui, who stood next to Ning Qing, traded a Dao fruit. When she saw that Ning Qing had not moved, she asked in doubt. Because Feng Xian thanked Ning Qing by name, Zhan Shui wanted to make friends with Ning Qing. Ning Qing couldn't help but think that if Feng Xian did not call him up, then even if he did not trade, it would not affect the overall situation. Feng Xian had named him, and he had given him the Scarlet Heart Divine Ganoderma fruit. If he did not trade, it would seem even more abrupt. Maybe someone was eyeing him and wanted to trade for the Scarlet Heart Divine Ganoderma fruit. I haven't found what I want yet, so I'm going to wait for a while. Ning Qing gave a dry laugh and spoke. Zhan Shui was about to speak when she saw an old man with a long beard stand up. Most of the people who traded were sitting down, so when the long-bearded old man stood up, he attracted everyone's attention. The long-bearded old man raised a jade bottle and said, "I have 7 drops of water stop here. I would like to exchange them for the wood origin essence, a wood elemental primordial chaos Dao fruit, or a wood elemental chaos Dao aura." Zhan Shui's words immediately stopped. Up until now, the long-bearded old man had taken out the most precious item. Furthermore, the things he traded were equally precious. There weren't many people sitting here who didn't know about water stop. Water stop didn't refer to calm water, but a connate object, also known as heart water. Heart, like still water, was actually derived from water stop. Water stop ranked 4th among the 10 connate waters. The effect of still water could allow anyone to cultivate and comprehend without any distractions and distractions. The higher the cultivation of a Dao confirming Holy Emperor, the more interference they would face when improving their cultivation. A drop of water stop could be said to be more effective than any Dao fruit. This kind of thing even had an effect on primordial chaos powerhouses, and this was just one of the functions of water stop. What's more, this long-bearded old man didn't take out 1 drop, but 7 drops of water stop. These 7 drops of water stop, even a Dao unification Holy Emperor would feel a little envious. Ning Qing had something that the long-bearded old man wanted to trade, such as wood elemental chaos chi. However, Ning Qing didn't intend to take out wood elemental chaos chi in exchange for water stop. It wasn't that he didn't want to trade, but that he couldn't. Many offers came out one after another: wood elemental primordial Dao fruit, wood origin crystal, wood elemental materials. However, none of these offers satisfied the long-bearded old man. Just when the long-bearded old man thought that the trade fair was over, a yellow-robed young man stood up and asked, "Fellow Taoist you, I wonder if I can exchange the wood origin bead with you?" After the yellow-robed young man said this, the entire hall fell silent. The wood origin bead might not be the most precious thing, but the wood origin bead had a special characteristic that no one could ignore. It was an origin bead formed during the creation of heaven and earth. If a wood elemental cultivator or an alchemist obtained the wood origin bead, it would definitely amaze everyone and lead a smooth journey. Moreover, the wood origin bead also had a very important characteristic. Once the 5 elements origin beads were gathered, the true spirit world could evolve into a 5 elements chaos world. If the 5 elements chaos world evolved, it would become a real chaos world. Not only the long-bearded old man, but everyone else also wanted this thing. Even if someone couldn't use it, they could exchange it for other things after obtaining the wood origin bead. The fiery gazes that were originally staring at the long-bearded old man all fell on the yellow-robed young man. Ning Qing almost stood up anxiously. Wasn't the remaining half of the wood origin bead with Tian Yuan? How could it appear on this yellow-robed man? Did this guy kill Tian Yuan and then take away the wood origin bead? Ning Qing was also a Dao transformation Holy Emperor now, so he naturally knew that there wouldn't be 2 wood origin beads. Thinking of this, Ning Qing couldn't help but exude a trace of killing intent. In any case, Tian Yuan was his first love. Even if they broke up later, this was a fact that couldn't be changed. What's more, Tian Yuan had left Earth and came to the endless void to survive. She was someone who shared the same fate as him. If this yellow-robed man killed Tian Yuan, he would kill him even if he had to chase him to the ends of the earth. Dao friend Ning. Zhan Shui, who was sitting next to Ning Qing, felt Ning Qing's killing intent and quickly called out to Ning Qing. She wasn't afraid of Ning Cheng's killing intent, but to release such a killing intent in such a place was simply courting death. Ning Cheng recovered and quickly restrained all his emotions. At this moment, he understood that although he had nothing to do with Tian Yuan, he still cared about Tian Yuan's life and death. "Thank you, Dao Frenjan. I forgot myself just now." Ning Cheng quickly thanked Zhang Shui. He secretly became vigilant. Zhang Shui wasn't the only one who felt his killing intent. Zhang Shui nodded to Ning Cheng but didn't speak. She knew that she wasn't the only one who felt Ning Cheng's killing intent. "Dao friend, do you have the wood origin bead?" The long-bearded old man spoke with excitement. Apparently, the yellow-robed young man knew him, but he didn't know the yellow-robed young man. "Since you have the wood origin bead, I'm willing to give you all 7 drops of still water and—" Without waiting for the long-bearded old man to finish, the yellow-robed young man shook his head and said, "I only want 1 drop of still water. I don't want anything else." After hearing the yellow-robed young man's words, everyone suddenly felt puzzled. If the yellow-robed young man really had the wood origin bead, even 70 drops of still water wouldn't be worth even 1% of the wood origin bead's value. But the yellow-robed young man said he only wanted 1 drop. What did he mean? The long-bearded old man also looked at the yellow-robed young man in confusion, not understanding what he meant. The yellow-robed young man spoke up unhurriedly, "I don't have the wood origin bead on me, but I know where the wood origin bead is and who has it." "You mean you want to use this information to buy a drop of my still water?" The long-bearded old man's expression suddenly turned ugly. This yellow-robed young man's cultivation was already at the middle stage Dao essence realm. If the wood origin bead was easy to obtain, why would he wait here to trade information? The yellow-robed young man showed a slight smile. "That's it. Of course, it's up to you whether you want to trade or not. Once the trade is completed, I will swear a Dao recitation oath that I will never tell anyone else about it." The long-bearded old man sneered, "Sorry, but I won't trade." What a joke. If the wood origin bead was in the hands of a Dao perfection expert, what was the difference between getting this information and not getting it? He had the still water, so he wasn't afraid of not being able to exchange it for something good. The yellow-robed young man's eyes flashed with disappointment and he sat down without saying anything. Some of the primordial chaos sacred emperors, who originally had bright eyes, also felt a little disappointed. If the wood origin bead wasn't in the yellow-robed young man's hands, then there was no need to care about it. Information could only be used to fool ignorant people. "Wait, I want to trade information about your wood origin bead." A deep voice made the yellow-robed young man happy again. Ning Cheng's heart sank again. He had planned to wait until the end of the trade meeting to trade with the yellow-robed young man alone, but it seemed that it wouldn't work now. "I don't think you have a still water. If you have a treasure that can remold an essence spirit, we can also trade," the yellow-robed young man said immediately. The person who wanted to trade information about the wood origin bead with the yellow-robed young man was a burly man with a primordial Dao cultivation. After hearing the yellow-robed young man's words, he frowned slightly and said, "How about I give you spirit crystals?" The yellow-robed young man shook his head. Spirit crystals didn't have much use for him. Ning Cheng knew that he couldn't wait any longer. He stood up, took out a jade box and said, "I have a rootless green bamboo leaf here. It's a good thing for remold an essence spirit. If this Dao friend wants, you can trade it with me." When the yellow-robed young man heard the words rootless green bamboo, he immediately rejoiced and said, "If you can take out 2, I'll trade." Ning Cheng didn't hesitate to take out another rootless green bamboo leaf and put it in the jade box. 2 rootless green bamboo leaves for information about the wood origin bead. At the same time, you have to swear a Dao recollection oath that you won't tell a third person about this information. "Sure, let's trade," the yellow-robed young man said excitedly. Just as Ning Cheng and the yellow-robed young man reached an agreement, a slightly shrill voice interrupted the two. Chapter 11-12. The one who stood up was also a young man. Ning Cheng looked at his cultivation and guessed that he was at the middle stage Dao essence realm. Ning Cheng's complexion turned a bit ugly to look at. It was not that this person had stood up and said to slow down, but because this person was sitting next to Feng Yu, he had some suspicions that it was Feng Yu who had asked this person to stand up and interfere with his transaction. Ning Cheng did not speak, but the yellow-robed youth cupped his fists and spoke. "Does this Dao friend have something to say?" The young man who stood up chuckled. "I'm Chiao Mai. I've also taken a fancy to your Wood Origin Beads message jade strip. I'm willing to pay a silent soul crystal." When the yellow-robed youth heard the words silent soul crystal, his eyes immediately lit up. He immediately looked at Ning Cheng, but did not speak. Ning Cheng naturally knew about the silent soul crystal. It was also a rare treasure used to remold one's life essence. In terms of value, the silent soul crystal was several streets ahead of the rootless green bamboo's bamboo leaves. Moreover, this kind of thing was similarly rare, and the effect of reconstructing the soul was also better than the rootless green bamboo's bamboo leaves. Ning Cheng did not reply. He understood the meaning of the yellow-robed youth. In other words, someone was bidding against him. If he wanted to obtain this message jade strip, he would have to take out something better than the rootless green bamboo's bamboo leaves. He had the rootless green bamboo's bamboo leaves. Naturally, the rootless green bamboo was even better. Although the value of the silent soul crystal was much higher than the rootless green bamboo's bamboo leaves, it was still far from being comparable to the rootless green bamboo. The yellow-robed youth looked at Ning Cheng, apparently wanting Ning Cheng to take out the rootless green bamboo. Of those who were able to participate in this trade fair, which one of them didn't understand? Not only did Ning Cheng understand the meaning of the yellow-robed youth, everyone else also understood it. Therefore, at this moment, no one interrupted this transaction. Seeing Ning Cheng not answering, the yellow-robed youth could not help but speak up. "This Dao friend, someone took out a silent soul crystal to exchange for my jade strip. What do you think about it?" Ning Cheng calmly spoke up. "The most precious thing I can take out are the 2 bamboo leaves of the rootless green bamboo. If this Dao friend wants to trade with others, then I can't do anything about it. Previously, I thought that since both of us had agreed, the deal would be a success. I didn't expect that I could go back on my word. What an eye-opener." The yellow-robed youth's face turned ugly to look at. Ning Cheng's meaning was that he despised the rules of the Boundless Realm Palace. After the transaction was completed, he could still go back on his word. Coupled with the fact that Ning Cheng had been singled out and praised by the Boundless Palace's palace master, he even slightly regretted his greed. Many people in the exchange hall did not expect Ning Cheng to be so bold as to directly say that someone did not abide by the rules in the Realmless Palace. "You mean I broke the rules?" Chiao Mai's face sunk. He didn't expect Ning Cheng, a Dao actualization divine emperor, to be so bold just because the palace lord praised him once. Ning Cheng spoke in an unhurried manner. "Whether there is any violation of the rules or not, everyone has already seen it. It is not up to me to decide." Feng Yu suddenly said, "Naturally, both parties are willing to participate in the trade. Since the items have not been exchanged, it cannot be considered a successful trade. Daoist Chiao Mai's price is reasonable." Of course, fellow Daoist Ning's thoughts were reasonable. "How about this? After the trade fair is over, the 3 of you can discuss among yourselves how to trade this jade slip." Feng Yu's words seemed fair, but in reality he was clearly helping Chiao Mai. When the people in the main hall saw that Feng Xian did not speak, they knew that Feng Xian did not stand on Ning Cheng's side in this matter. Perhaps Feng Yu's words were instigated by Feng Xian. He naturally wanted to see if Ning Cheng had any rootless green bamboo on him. Although the grade of the rootless green bamboo was not high, it was extremely rare. Knowing that Feng Xian did not favor Ning Cheng, a few tyrannical spiritual consciousnesses swept over. Ning Cheng sneered in his heart. If they wanted to investigate his situation, they could only do so by force. If a few spiritual consciousnesses could find out about his situation, then even his powerful starry sky sea of consciousness would turn into garbage. Do you still have any shame? Since it's a trade, you have to abide by the trade contract. Even if both parties agree, because of the seller's greed, you have to renege on the deal. What kind of logic is this? I'm the first one who can't stand it." A rough voice rang out, immediately attracting everyone's attention. Ning Cheng also looked at the person who spoke up for him in confusion. He did not know many people here, so why did someone speak up for him? Feng Yu's face stiffened, but he did not speak. The one who spoke was a primordial essence holy emperor. Moreover, it looked like a primordial essence holy emperor with a profound Tao charm. Feng Xian showed a faint smile on his face. This Tao friend is right. Since both parties have agreed to the trade, then let's go with the deal. Since Feng Xian had spoken, the yellow-robed youth had no choice but to trade with Ning Cheng. If Qiao Mai had not stood up, this transaction would have been a happy one. But because of Qiao Mai, this transaction became a little unhappy. After the transaction, the primordial essence holy emperor who spoke up for Ning Cheng stood up. Brother Feng, I'll take my leave first. Feng Xian quickly asked. This friend, if my boundless palace has neglected you, please forgive me. The primordial essence holy emperor cupped his fists and said, Brother Feng Xian is heroic and unparalleled. It's my luck to make friends with Brother Feng Xian. It's just that I suddenly don't have the mood to trade and want to leave first. After that, he turned to Ning Cheng and asked, Dao friend Ning Cheng, I wonder if you want to stay here to trade, or leave with me first? When this primordial essence holy emperor said that he didn't have the mood to trade, everyone knew what was going on. That was, the deal between Ning Cheng and the yellow-robed youth had already been agreed to. Yet, someone still stood up to speak nonsense, and Feng Xian did not stop him immediately. Not only that, but Feng Yu also spoke up for Qiao Mai. Just this point alone made this primordial essence holy emperor unhappy. But when this primordial essence holy emperor asked Ning Cheng if he wanted to leave with him, everyone knew that it was impossible. Everyone guessed that Ning Cheng might have the rootless green bamboo, unless Ning Cheng was an idiot and was willing to follow a primordial essence holy emperor. How many idiots could cultivate to the Tao actualization holy emperor level? Feng Xian smiled awkwardly. My boundless palace welcomes Tao friend at any time. Since Tao friend has something to do, you can leave first. As soon as Feng Xian finished speaking, Ning Cheng stood up. Thank you, Senior Feng Xian. Otherwise, this junior wouldn't have been able to trade for this jade slip. This time, I've gained a lot from listening to this senior's Tao discussion. This junior will leave with this Tao friend. If I have the opportunity, I will definitely visit Boundless Palace again. Everyone sneered in their hearts. A Tao actualization holy emperor like you dared to visit Boundless Palace? What they didn't expect was that Ning Cheng really had the guts to leave with a primordial essence holy emperor. Was he courting death? Feng Xian also didn't expect Ning Cheng to dare to leave with a primordial essence holy emperor. Now that Ning Cheng said it, he could only say, okay, this Feng thanks Tao friend Ning again for the loyalty heart spirit Ganoderma fruit. Ning Cheng and this primordial essence holy emperor left the trading hall. The trading hall didn't seem to be affected much and was still very lively. 2 hours later, in a void far away from Boundless Palace, the primordial essence holy emperor who came out with Ning Cheng smiled. Tao friend Ning, you're quite courageous. I really didn't expect that you didn't die after falling into the perpetual moon abyss. Ning Cheng knew that the person who helped him must have come from the perpetual moon sect. It's just that the other party should have changed his appearance, so he couldn't recognize him. He had saved more than 100 people in the perpetual moon sect. Who knew who this person was? Thank you for your help, Tao friend. It's just that I haven't recognized you yet. Ning Cheng quickly cupped his hands. This primordial essence holy emperor raised his hand and wiped off the disguise on his face. Ning Cheng immediately recognized him. This person was called Wan Yuheng. Wan Yuheng had given him the jade strip to enter the 9 Origins ice cave. So it's Brother Wan. I was wondering why you would help me. Confirming that the other party was indeed from the perpetual moon sect, Ning Cheng naturally felt relieved. Wan Yuheng smiled and said, I only recognized you when Feng Xian called out your name. Later, when Feng Yu took out the image, I started to worry about you. You acted a bit rashly this time. If someone uncovered your disguise, you would have a hard time getting away. Ning Cheng sighed. If I had known that the person I snatched the mountain and river dipper was from the Boundless Palace, I wouldn't have gone there no matter how many treasures there were. Ning Cheng truly didn't know that he had such bad luck that he ended up in Feng Yu's hometown. As for the disguise, Ning Cheng didn't worry about it at all. Among the cultivators participating in the Boundless Palace's trading convention, if not 1,000, there were at least 800 of them. With his powerful starry sky sea of consciousness, even a primordial essence holy emperor wouldn't be able to check him casually. But with Feng Yu's matter, it was a completely different story. Feng Yu and him had fought before. Therefore, a holy emperor like Feng Yu could naturally feel some clues. Brother Wan, I really have to thank you this time. Ning Cheng thought that Xiao Mai might have acted under Feng Yu's instructions, which made him feel even more grateful to Wan Yuheng. If he hadn't followed Xiao Mai out, it would have dragged on for a long time. Although he had saved more than 100 powerhouses from the Perpetual Moon sect, it was nothing more than a casual act of help. Now that the good karma had fallen on his head, he felt sure that if it weren't for him, Wan Yuheng wouldn't have left the exchange convention in advance. Wan Yuheng also didn't act pretentiously and spoke with a slightly serious expression. Dao friend Ning, that Feng Yu might have some doubts about you. It's just that Feng Xian wants to leave a generous and hospitable impression. That's why you could leave so easily. I suggest that you leave this side of the void after this matter is over. The further you go, the better. Without Wan Yuheng's words, Ning Qing didn't plan to stay here. As for searching for the Starry Sky Wheel's artifact spirit with Mang Yong, it would have to wait until his cultivation reached the Dao Essence realm. At this time, Ning Qing also felt a little suspicious about Mang Yong. Why did he always face a life-and-death crisis every time he was with him? Now that he was far away from the Boundless Palace, he simply said goodbye to Wan Yuheng. Wan Yuheng didn't ask Ning Cheng how he came out of the Perpetual Moon sect. Ning Cheng wanted to leave, so he gave a simple nod and said, I'm leaving too. I haven't recovered my strength yet. I only came to the Boundless Palace because of Feng Xian's great reputation. Even if I went there, I wouldn't find anything good. The starry sky is vast, so we'll meet again. After separating from Wan Yuheng, Ning Qing immediately brought out the Starry Sky Wheel and fully stimulated it. As for Mang Yong's communication pearl, Ning Cheng threw it into the mysterious yellow bead. After bringing out the Starry Sky Wheel, Ning Cheng took out the jade strip he obtained from the exchange. The jade strip contained a simple message, which stated that someone had seen the wood origin bead in the Fallen Wood Temple. Apart from the Fallen Wood Temple, there was no other information. Ning Cheng could only crush the jade strip and look for a void city to inquire about the Fallen Wood Temple. Chapter 11-13. The Boundless Palace's trade meet had ended. Everyone came with satisfaction and returned with satisfaction. The fairyland-like Boundless Palace seemed to have quietened down. Inside the Boundless Palace, Feng Xian sat on a wide jade chair with an expressionless face. The god's spirit chi emanating from the jade chair formed a vague charm that faintly protected Feng Xian. Feng Yu stood below with a respectful look. There are many people in disguise. Even if you feel familiar, you wouldn't openly side with Xiao Mai, right? What's more, I received his help. Although the rootless green bamboo is precious, I shouldn't have played tricks at that time and forced him to take out the rootless green bamboo. 10,000 rootless green bamboo isn't worth the reputation of my Boundless Palace. Feng Xian's expression was very serious, and his tone carried a hint of reproach. He felt that he might have been too lenient with Feng Yu, so much so that when he praised Ning Cheng, it made Feng Yu feel a little uncomfortable in his heart. Feng Yu probably didn't notice it, but he couldn't help but notice it. Feng Yu lowered his head and said, At that time, I didn't just feel familiar with him. I also didn't want to force him to take out the rootless green bamboo. It's mainly because I felt a little awkward in my heart. I always felt that Ning Cheng was a bit strange. I had an idea that I must break his disguise and see who he was. Feng Xian's expression turned a little ugly. Every time someone came to the Boundless Palace's trade meet, at least 1/10 of them would come in disguise. Some people traded things that were too precious and naturally didn't want others to know about it. If they wanted to check every cultivator in disguise, then the Boundless Palace wouldn't have such a resounding reputation today. Feng Xian could make friends all over the world because of this kind of boldness and magnanimity. By the way, I remember. Feng Yu's expression changed, and he suddenly called out loudly. Feng Xian frowned even more. Without waiting for Feng Xian to speak, Feng Yu exclaimed. Uncle, he must be the guy who took away my mountain river dipper and fought with me. I was wondering why I felt awkward, so it was him. What? Feng Xian also stood up in shock. If Ning Cheng really took away the mountain river dipper, then why didn't he notice it? The mountain river dipper had a trace of his imprint. Even if Ning Cheng was a Tao Essence Divine Emperor, it wouldn't be easy to refine. What's more, Ning Cheng was a Tao Transformation Divine Emperor. If he couldn't refine the mountain river dipper, he would definitely be able to sense a trace of resonance. But in fact, he did not feel any resonance from Ning Cheng. Are you sure that Ning Cheng is the one who snatched the true young heart from you, and then took away the mountain and river dipper? Feng Xian's words were spoken almost word for word, with a strong killing intent in his tone. He, Feng Xian, liked to make friends all over the world, but no one could take away his things. Not to mention a Tao Transformation Divine Emperor like Ning Cheng, even a Tao Integration Divine Emperor couldn't do it. Moreover, there was one more thing that made him excited. If the mountains and river dipper was truly in Ning Cheng's hands. Although Ning Cheng had not refined the mountain and river dipper, he did not feel it at all. There was only one possibility. That is, Ning Cheng had a treasure on him that surpassed the grade of the 5 elements primal chaos world, which could conceal all auras. Feng Yu clenched his fists, while his eyes revealed a strong sense of unwillingness as he spoke. Uncle, I'm sure that I didn't guess wrong. Ning Cheng is definitely him, the person who snatched away my mountain and river dough. Previously, my first impression was the strongest. I never thought that someone would be so bold. I didn't expect this person to be so bold. Go and find out who Ning Cheng came with. Feng Xian was overflowing with killing intent. Daring to play tricks on his boundless palace? Was he courting death? Of course, more importantly, if Ning Cheng had the 5 elements primal chaos world, then it would not be as simple as taking back a mountain and river dipper. Half an incense stick later, the result that Feng Xian wanted appeared in his hands. Ning Cheng came with a Tao Transformation Divine Emperor called Mang Yong. After the end of the exchange, Mang Yong also disappeared. There was also a female cultivator called Zhan Shui, who was familiar with Ning Cheng. However, this female cultivator only met Ning Cheng temporarily after the Tao discussion. You stole my Feng Xian's thing. Even if you go to the ends of the earth, I will catch you and bring you back to the Boundless Palace. Feng Xian looked up at the void outside the Boundless Palace and spoke in a cold tone. Pass down the order to arrest Ning Cheng and Mang Yong immediately. Ning Cheng took advantage of the fact that he left first. When Feng Xian started to order his arrest, he disguised himself as an ordinary middle-aged male cultivator and passed through several void markets. In these void markets, Ning Cheng did not ask about the location of the Fallen Wood Temple. In the end, Ning Cheng simply stopped asking. Although Ning Cheng left the exchange meeting early, he could still feel Feng Xian's power 3 months later. Even though he was hundreds of millions of miles away from the Boundless Palace, he could still see his wanted posters after entering the void markets. Not only was there a wanted poster for him, but there was also a wanted poster for Mang Yong. The Binjia Void City was just a void city that Ning Cheng passed by on his way back. Just like the previous void markets, after Ning Cheng entered the Binjia Void City, there were wanted posters for him both at the city gates and in the city. Ning Cheng had long since become accustomed to it. Although Feng Xian had great power and could order his wanted posters everywhere, he couldn't check any cultivator in disguise. In any void market, there were tens of thousands of people in disguise. If everyone was checked, even Feng Xian wouldn't be able to bear the public's wrath. This guy is too daring. He even dared to rob the Boundless Palace's things. This kind of person will die sooner or later. When Ning Cheng entered the Binjia Void City's gate, he heard people talking about his wanted posters. What's wrong with the Boundless Palace? I heard that Ning Cheng robbed Feng Yu of the Boundless Palace when he fought him face to face. Feng Yu's cultivation level is at the late stage Tao transformation, while Ning Cheng is only at the early stage Tao transformation. This shows that he has the ability. If you have the ability, go ahead and rob him. Someone next to him retorted with a sneer. Ning Cheng looked at the retorting cultivator in surprise. He hadn't expected that someone would dare not stand on the Boundless Palace's side. It seemed that not everyone thought that the Boundless Palace was great. If you have the ability to go to the Void City near the Boundless Palace and speak like this, I admire you. The retorted cultivator also sneered. I speak like this no matter where I go. Could it be that the Boundless Palace is unreasonable? Just because I didn't speak up for the Boundless Palace, what are you going to do to me? After the retorting cultivator finished speaking, he turned around and left. Ning Cheng, who felt that the retorting cultivator was somewhat familiar, quickly followed him. Before he could speak, the cultivator stopped and looked back at Ning Cheng with a frown. Are you following me? After hearing this, Ning Cheng became even more convinced and quickly sent a voice transmission. Taoist friend, are you alchemy sage Lung Qin from the Absolute Beginning Realm? When the cultivator heard Ning Cheng's words, he immediately stared at Ning Cheng in surprise. He had clearly changed his appearance, so how did Ning Cheng recognize him? When Ning Cheng saw the other party's expression, he knew that he hadn't guessed wrong. This was Lung Chen from the Absolute Beginning Realm. Ning Cheng was very familiar with the alchemy Dao runes on him. During the 5 Realms pill competition, Lung Chen had refined the Heaven and Earth Epiphyllum pill with an elemental law. Although he hadn't obtained a ranking, it was still not simple. Brother Leng, if you don't mind, let's find a place to talk, said Ning Cheng quickly. He had a good relationship with Lu Dongzi from the Absolute Beginning Realm. Since Lung Chen was from the Absolute Beginning Realm and had spoken up for him, Ning Cheng wanted to ask him how to get to the Absolute Beginning Realm. You're Ning Cheng, alchemy sage Ning? Lung Chen looked at Ning Cheng in disbelief. He couldn't believe that Ning Cheng, who had disappeared during the 5 Realms pill competition, would appear here. Not only did he appear here, but he also knew that Ning Cheng had offended Void King Boundless Palace's Feng Xian. Ning Cheng let Lung Chen see his true appearance and said, I'm indeed Ning Cheng. Brother Leng, why are you here? After confirming that it was indeed Ning Cheng in front of him, Lung Chen's eyes glowed with eagerness. Alchemy Sage Ning, I didn't expect it to be you. After the 5 Realms pill competition, I didn't return to the Absolute Beginning Realm. After seeing Brother Ning's alchemy Dao level, I realized that there's always someone better out there. I heard about Alchemy Sage Ning's difficult cultivation journey from Union Master Sichin, which shocked me. I left the Absolute Beginning Realm to hone myself. I didn't expect to see Alchemy Sage Ning here. How are Union Master Lu and Union Master Sichin? Ning Cheng quickly asked when he heard Lung Chen's words. Lung Chen then told Ning Cheng everything that happened in the 5 Realms pill competition after he left. Ning Cheng felt relieved when he heard that Si Chen and Xiao Tian had taken the prizes back to the Grand Essence Realm. Where is Brother Lung planning to go? Knowing that Ling Chen had come out for a trial, Ning Cheng decided to ask about the way to the Absolute Beginning Realm before saying goodbye to the other party. Lu Dongzi's universe vegetation was still in his hands, and he wanted to find a chance to return it to the other party. Alchemy Sage Ning, you don't know? Lung Chen asked in surprise. Ning Cheng shook his head. I've been in a hurry all the way here, so I really don't know. Lung Chen quickly said, actually, this matter has something to do with you. You should know about Fallenwood Temple, right? I heard that you traded a Wood Origin bead message Jade Strip in the Boundless Palace. Didn't the Jade Strip say Fallenwood Temple? Lung Chen asked in confusion. Ning Cheng froze. How did this matter become known to everyone? That yellow-robed youth made an oath after trading with him. How could he dare to send the news out? Right? The Boundless Palace must have forcibly obtained the news from that yellow-robed youth. That's not right. Even if the Boundless Palace got the news, they wouldn't spread it everywhere. It's Fallenwood Temple. What happened? How did you know? Ning Cheng's tone turned solemn. Lung Chen whispered, a month after the end of the Boundless Palace's trading meet, a mapped Jade Strip appeared in the major void markets. The Jade Strip pointed to Fallenwood Temple. Not only did it point to Fallenwood Temple, but it also indicated that there was a Wood Origin bead in Fallenwood Temple. Brother Ning, you know how attractive a Wood Origin bead is to us alchemists. I came here to try my luck and see if I can find a Wood Origin bead. Do you know where Fallenwood Temple is? Chapter 11:14. As soon as Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness fell onto the jade strip, he could clearly see the position of the fallen wood temple. Obviously, as long as he followed this jade slip, he would definitely be able to find the fallen wood temple. Does Pill Sage Ning want to go to Falling Wood Temple? Seeing Ning Cheng looking at the jade strip without speaking, Lung Chen took the initiative to ask, "Should we go to Luo Mu Temple?" If he went, Feng Xian would most likely be waiting for him. If he didn't go, in case it was related to Tian Muwan, wouldn't he just stand by and watch her die? If Tian Yuan was replaced by Ji Luofei or Qianghua, what would he do? Perhaps he wouldn't even think about it and would just pass by. Furthermore, if he were to lose that half of the wood origin bead, he would probably lose more than just that. I need to think about it. Brother Lung, you can go first. By the way, Association Master Lu still has a book with me. I want to go to the primal beginning world. How do I get there? Ning Cheng replied after half an incense stick of time. Even if Tian Muwan went to the Fallen Wood Temple, it was absolutely impossible for her to stay there. However, he still decided to go to the Fallen Wood Temple. He could not go with Lung Chen. Lung Chen only admired him and used him as a goal. They were not very familiar with each other. Moreover, if something were to happen, he would implicate Lung Chen. Lung Chen did not care about it. He felt that it was normal for Ning Cheng to not go to the Falling Wood Temple. After all, the Realmless Palace was not a place for fun. I only know that if I want to return to the Grand Beginning Realm, I must go to the Five Realms Void Market. I can only teleport away after I reach the Five Realms Void Market. Lung Chen was not the guild master of the Elixir Association, so he only had a general direction to go to the Grand Beginning Realm. After separating from Lung Chen, Ning Cheng went to a merchant house. Sure enough, it was very easy to purchase a jade strip with directions to the Falling Wood Temple. Since it was so easy to purchase the locational jade strip, Ning Cheng felt even more sure that the jade strip was not leaked by the Boundless Palace. If the Boundless Palace wanted to lure him over, they wouldn't release such a large-scale positioning jade slip. The more people went, the harder it would be for him to be discovered. An hour later, Ning Cheng left the Bin Mustard Void City. This time, he didn't teleport away but chose to head to the Falling Wood Temple. Falling Wood Temple was 2 or 3 days away from the Binjia Void City. Of course, this was the speed of Ning Cheng using an ordinary flight-type weapon. He was not the only one heading to Rikiki Temple. Many people had specially teleported to Hamasuga City in order to go there. Among the many people heading towards the Falling Wood Temple, Ning Cheng did not stand out at all. 2 days later, Ning Cheng stood outside the Fallen Wood Temple. Only then did he understand why this place was called the Fallen Wood Temple. To be precise, this was a barren planet. The surface of the planet was covered with dead trees. Some of these dead trees were broken, while others were dead. It was as if they had fallen from above, piling up together to form one irregular wooden mountain after another. Apart from these dead trees, there seemed to be nothing else on this planet. Moreover, in the middle of these wooden mountains, one giant wooden passage after another formed, just like the entrances to the ice caves that Ning Cheng had seen in the 9 primordial ice caves. It was unknown who had built a temple in front of these giant wooden passageways. The temple did not look big, and the overall structure looked like there was only one door. On the left side of the temple, there was a row of words. Boundless Falling Wood rustled. On the right, it was not written that the Yangtze River was rolling endlessly, but it was empty. Ning Cheng roughly estimated that there were at least tens of thousands of people gathered on this planet filled with fallen trees. The planet where Limu Temple was located was not large, and it could only be regarded as a small floating star continent. Tens of thousands of people crowded around the periphery of Luomu Temple. Seeing the many cultivators rushing through the wooden door of the temple, Ning Cheng shook his head. He did not feel the wood origin bead. With his sensitivity to origin aura and the fact that the mysterious yellow bead had already fused with half of the wood origin bead, he would have definitely felt the wood origin bead if it appeared here. Ning Cheng did not leave immediately. If the wood origin bead was hidden in someone's sea of consciousness, it would be normal for him not to feel it. Many cultivators came in and out of the temple, and many people, like Ning Cheng, stood in the distance and watched. Some people came to take a look but quickly left. Most likely, They felt that the wood origin bead appearing here was a lie. Ning Cheng stayed here for 5 or 6 days, during which he also approached the gate of Luomu Temple. Not to mention the aura of the wood origin bead, he didn't even feel any wood-attributed spirit qi. Similarly, Ning Cheng did not find anyone from the Boundless Palace or anyone from the Boundless Palace hiding in the crowd. If it weren't for the wood origin bead being too important to Ning Cheng, he would have left long ago. Some people started to get irritated and started to bring out weapons to attack Luomu Temple. Some people even brought out flames to burn the entire starland. Tens of thousands of people attacked a small starland at the same time. No matter how strong the laws of this starland were, it would still start to collapse. Sounds of laws breaking emerged, and Ning Cheng sighed. He knew that he should leave now. Most likely, the void teleportation array disk required a lot of spirit crystals to activate, and the blue-robed girl didn't have enough spirit crystals on her. Therefore, she had to arrange a spiritual gathering array here to gather spirit qi. But what made Ning Cheng frown slightly was that Tian Muen's wood origin bead didn't enter her sea of consciousness this time. Instead, it was inside her storage ring. Putting the wood origin bead inside her storage ring, wasn't that just courting death? They're trying to gather spirit qi and prepare to activate the void teleportation array disk to teleport away. Someone immediately called out. Several cultivators immediately rushed over. When Ning Cheng saw someone rushing over, he also rushed over. In any case, he couldn't let these people take away the blue-robed girl and Tian Yuan. Boom boom boom. Several cultivators rushed outside the void teleportation array disk, but the powerful attack from the Dao charm outside the void teleportation array disk blew them away. 2 cultivators with weaker cultivations ended up having their bodies torn apart. This kind of tragic situation immediately made the rest of the people freeze. Because of the defensive attack from the void teleportation array disk, the void teleportation array disk, which already lacked spirit qi, looked even dimmer. From the looks of it, it would take a long time for the spiritual gathering array to gather spirit qi to teleport away. Stop right there. Tian Muan suddenly raised a jade box and called out, I know that you all came here for my wood origin bead. My wood origin bead is in here. If you want it, then you can bid with spirit crystals. Whoever offers the most spirit crystals, I'm willing to exchange with them. If you all want to snatch it, then I'll degrade the wood origin bead. Let's all perish together. Tian Muan's words immediately stopped everyone. To degrade the wood origin bead was to directly use one's own life force to erase the wood origin bead's origin law aura. That way, even if someone else obtained the wood origin bead, it would still be a waste. The blue-robed girl didn't speak and just kept throwing out array flags. Ning Cheng looked at the way she threw the array flags and understood that she didn't refine this void teleportation array disk. I bid 10 million spirit crystals. Someone immediately called out. Since it was an auction, then the wood origin bead would belong to whoever offered the most spirit crystals. I bid a high-rank spirit vein and 20 million spirit crystals. Regardless of whether the wood origin bead could be traded or not, the bids kept refreshing. Ning Cheng felt a little anxious. He knew that this wasn't a formal auction. Even if Tian Muan successfully bid for the wood origin bead, the blue-robed girl wouldn't be able to use spirit crystals to activate the teleportation array, because no one would watch someone else trade the wood origin bead. Once the transaction was successful, it would mean the start of a great war. Facing so many powerhouses, including even a Dao Essence Holy Emperor, Ning Cheng knew that he couldn't save Tian Muan and the blue-robed girl. What's more, he couldn't show himself in public. Even if he changed his appearance, who knew if someone would recognize him once he showed himself in the limelight? Ning Cheng took out the blue-robed girl's communication pearl and sent a message, asking why the 2 of them were here. The blue-robed girl looked at the communication pearl on her wrist and spoke in surprise. What's wrong, big sister? Tian Muan asked quickly. The blue-robed girl handed the communication pearl to Tian Muan. It's your big brother Ning. How could he appear here? Chapter 11:15. Tian Muan's body trembled, and she completely forgot about the wood origin bead and communication bead in her hands as she stared at the crowd in disbelief. At the altar of Forefathers' library, when Ning Qing had sent them away, she had thought that Ning Qing had fallen. Because of the news of Ning Cheng's death, she had cultivated crazily, but she could no longer return to her previous calm and natural state of mind. As a result, her wood origin bead could no longer stay perfectly in her sea of consciousness. Because of her anxiety and impetuosity, the wood origin bead could only be used for cultivation and could no longer be used for nourishment. It was also because she couldn't hide the aura of the wood origin bead that her elder sister ended up injured. Countless people in the crowd stared at Tian Yuan's hand, while the price kept rising crazily. "Xiaoqing, is it really you?" Tian Yuan couldn't help but send another message to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng squeezed to the front and replied, "It's me. You don't have to worry. I don't think I can take the two of you away. I'll let you activate the void teleportation array first." "No, Xiaoqing, you come with me. As long as we activate the teleportation array, we will definitely be safe. Come with me." Tian Yuan's hand trembled more and more. After experiencing life and death, face and modesty became secondary. She couldn't accept it. If there was no fate, why could she still see him after leaving Earth for billions of miles? Why was there always a trace of connection between them that she couldn't say it out loud? "Everyone, wait a minute. Let's talk one by one. It doesn't have to be spirit crystals for everything. How about this? Whoever can come up with 100 million high-rank spirit crystals can enter our teleportation array and talk to us. We'll talk about what else can satisfy us in addition to spirit crystals. Of course, if you don't have 100 million spirit crystals, it's not impossible to talk about other things." The blue-robed girl saw Tian Yuan's excited look and knew that she couldn't go on like this. After that, she quickly sent a message to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng didn't hesitate to quote 100 million spirit crystals. The blue-robed girl immediately recognized Ning Cheng and pointed to Ning Cheng and said, "It's you. The Tao friend who quoted 100 million spirit crystals. Come in and talk to us about what else you can give us." Ning Cheng rushed into the teleportation array without hesitation, leaving the cultivators outside completely baffled. The wood origin bead was good, but his life was also important. This cultivator who bid 100 million god crystals was just a Tao actualization divine emperor. What right did he have to talk to a Tao essence divine emperor? Plus, even if the conversation was successful, could this Tao actualization divine emperor take the wood origin orb and leave? Xiaoqing. Tian Mu Wan, who had been suffering in her heart on seeing Ning Cheng come in, immediately burst into tears. The first time they met in the mysterious yellow starland, she could still prop up her hard shell to protect herself. The next time they met, her protective outer shell had long since shattered with a crack. There was something called suffering. Every time she didn't cultivate, that kind of suffering was not something that others could imagine. The wood origin bead was unwilling to stay in her knowledge sea, which made her suffer even more. She really regretted it. If life only lasted for a few decades, then her regrets would only last for a few decades. Perhaps she would have died long before she had time to regret it. Originally, she thought that she was strong enough to face everything calmly, but when some things really happened again, she realized that she was still far from being strong. "Muan, there is no right or wrong between you and Xiaoqing. You don't have to be like this. Everyone here understands. Now is not the time to talk about this. The people outside are eyeing us covetously. We have to discuss this quickly." The blue-robed girl persuaded Tian Muwan. Tian Muwan's hand holding the jade box turned pale, but she listened to the blue-robed girl's words. She just pursed her lips and stopped herself from speaking. Ning Cheng nodded. "Senior apprentice Sister Yi, you can speak. If I can help, I will definitely help." The blue-robed girl took in a deep breath and said to Ning Cheng gratefully, "Senior apprentice Brother Ning, thank you for saving me and Muan last time. Although I don't know how you escaped, it must not have been easy. As I said, I owed you last time, and I might owe you again this time." Ning Cheng waved his hand. "Don't say that. We're all friends. It's not a big deal to help." The blue-robed girl didn't continue being polite. "Then I'll make it short. I don't know how you came here, but we can talk about it later. For now, you can take out a few million spirit crystals to activate this void teleportation array disk. As long as the array disk activates, we can leave this place together. You should have just reached the Tao sculpting realm, which means your cultivation speed is already very fast. As long as you can see my father, your cultivation speed in the future will be many times faster than it is now. Whether it's medicinal pills or cultivation resources, you can have as many as you want. The blue-robed girl's injuries weren't light, and her Tao charm was missing. Therefore, she didn't check Ning Cheng's cultivation. However, in her opinion, Ning Cheng was at most at the Tao sculpting realm, and that was because he had left the mysterious yellow starland. Ning Cheng showed a slight smile. He knew that Tian Mu Wan and the blue-robed girl should have gone to the sacred Tao world. Previously, he had planned to go to the sacred Tao world to look for the wood origin bead. But now that Tian Mu Wan was here, if he wanted to trade for the wood origin bead, he wouldn't have to go to the sacred Tao world. As for relying on the blue-robed girl's father, Ning Cheng never thought about it. He and the blue-robed girl were just ordinary friends, and he had only saved her twice. Even if they were good friends, Ning Cheng wouldn't rely on a woman's father. What's more, he had to go back and prepare for the Tao confirming realm and then take away his sister Rulin and Li. When Tian Mu Wan heard the blue-robed girl's words, she bit her lips even more tightly, with her understanding of based on her understanding of Ning Cheng. If her big sister had asked Ning Cheng to send them away, Ning Cheng might have left with them. But her big sister said that her father would help, so Ning Cheng definitely wouldn't go with them. Sure enough, Ning Cheng said, "I won't go with you. I have a way to get away. Think about it, I could walk away from the altar of forefathers' library, so you don't have to worry about me. Well, I'll activate the void teleportation array. Little Cheng, this is for you." But Tian Mu Wan put the wood origin beadbox in Ning Cheng's hand. Ning Cheng immediately knew that something bad had happened when he grabbed the box. He was about to ask Tian Mu Wan about the wood origin bead. But he knew that he couldn't just send it like this. Even if Tian Mu Wan wanted to give him the wood origin bead, she would have to wait until he activated the void teleportation array. But now that Tian Mu Wan gave him the wood origin bead, Ning Cheng couldn't push it back. He didn't even have time to speak before throwing out spirit crystals. He then sprinkled out array flags while stuffing a ring into Tian Mu Wan's hand. "Take care of yourself. Let's meet again if fate wills it." Sure enough, when Tian Mu Wan handed the wood origin beadbox to Ning Cheng, the cultivators watching from the outside rushed over. All kinds of weapons rushed towards the void teleportation array. Apparently, they wanted to break the void teleportation array and snatch it. The defensive light of the void teleportation array shook under the attacks. Fortunately, Ning Cheng promptly threw out 100 million high-rank spirit crystals at once. The first attack wasn't too much, and it managed to block it. Ning Cheng took the opportunity to rush out of the void teleportation array and brought out the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort. At this time, hiding were all fake. Taking out his cards to save his life was the most important thing. All kinds of attacks landed on Ning Cheng's everlasting Blue Thunder Fort, causing lightning to splatter everywhere. During the short time that Ning Cheng blocked the void teleportation array, the void teleportation array turned into a ray of light before disappearing into the void. No one cared about the void teleportation array. Everyone could clearly see that the wood origin bead was with Ning Cheng. Seeing Ning Cheng fall into the endless attacks, Tian Mu Wan felt her mind go blank. She felt that she had done something wrong again. After handing over the wood origin bead to Ning Cheng, she felt that the connection between her and Ning Cheng had disappeared without a trace. It seemed that the reason why she could meet Ning Cheng twice was because of the wood origin bead. Before she could continue to think about it, dizziness hit her, and she found herself sucked into the teleportation light. No matter how strong the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort was, after enduring so many attacks, Ning Cheng couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Seeing more and more cultivators flocking over, and the surrounding space filled with all kinds of Tao charm auras, Ning Cheng knew that he couldn't escape. Tens of thousands of cultivators didn't all come forward to snatch the wood origin bead. Most of the cultivators still had some bottom line. Since the thing fell into someone else's hands, it naturally belonged to them. Besides, even if they tried to snatch it, they might not be able to get it. However, there were still hundreds of cultivators attacking Ningcheng, and some were even eager to give it a try. Several Dao Essence Holy Emperors hesitated. It wasn't that they were too embarrassed to snatch it, but once one of them moved, the rest would most likely follow suit. Another wave of attacks arrived, and Ningcheng spat out another mouthful of essence blood. The everlasting Blue Thunder Fort didn't have an artifact spirit, so Ningcheng couldn't withstand so many attacks. After spitting out the second mouthful of essence blood, Ningcheng gave up on escaping. He raised his hand, and the void cold light spear appeared in his hand. Following that, a blue stone arch bridge appeared under his feet, and a surging yellow river roared around him like a long dragon. Since you want my life, then I'll exchange it with your life. The void cold light spear swept up traceless spear intents one after another. Some Dao sculpting and even Dao nourishment holy emperors were sliced into blood mists and separated from their bodies. The yellow river seemed to feel Ningcheng's killing intent and roared even more in the blood mist. More than a dozen Dao transformation holy emperors were swept away by the river and disappeared without a trace. In just a few breaths, a large area around Ningcheng became empty. Hundreds of Dao confirmation holy emperors were killed by Ningcheng. Ningcheng's slaughter didn't make these people give way. On the contrary, the cultivators who were watching from the side rushed over like bloodthirsty vampires when they saw the Yellow Springs Bridge. Even a few Dao Essence holy emperors who wanted to watch for a while couldn't hold back their greed and rushed towards Ningcheng. Ningcheng let out a long roar, and his eyes also turned red. The everlasting Blue Thunder Fort expanded without limit. Lightning rushed out of the Blue Thunder Fort and turned some low-level cultivators into charcoal. After the void cold light spear's traceless spear rune, it formed void collapses one after another, constantly killing lives. The fourth Yellow Springs Bridge's roar also became more and more ferocious. Some cultivators who retreated to the outside of the Yellow Springs Bridge were stunned by the inexplicable spiritual consciousness stings and were swept away by the Yellow Springs Bridge. The void where the fallen Wood Temple was located was filled with a bloody storm. Chapter 1116. No matter how strong Ningcheng was, he was only one person. His everlasting Blue Thunder Fort wasn't omnipotent. A silver arrow tore through the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort's lightning defense, ignored Ningcheng's domain, and hit Ningcheng's chest. Blood spurted out of Ningcheng's chest. Not only the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort, but the Yellow Springs Bridge's aura also weakened instantly. This arrow dissipated Ningcheng's essence chi. Then, more than 10 magic treasure lights took the opportunity to pass through the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort, tearing more than 10 wounds on Ningcheng's body. This person can't make it. Everyone put in more effort. He's just a Dao transformation cultivator and he killed so many people. He must have a great secret, someone shouted. This guy is also a body refinement expert. Otherwise, he would have been blasted to pieces. Ningcheng's cold gaze landed on the Dao Essence Divine Emperor who broke through the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort. He didn't hesitate to shoot a dark consciousness explosion. If it wasn't for that arrow, he wouldn't have ended up like this in such a short time. The Dao Essence Divine Emperor saw Ningcheng look at him and sneered. It was a waste for a Dao Transformation Divine Emperor to have the Seven Bridges Spirit Art. As a Dao Transformation Divine Emperor, using the Seven Bridges Spirit Art against some Dao molding and Dao nourishment cultivators was a disgrace. So what if you look at me? He didn't even bother to take back the silver arrow. He just wanted to rush towards the everlasting Blue Thunder Fort and take Ningcheng away. Just as this thought appeared in the Dao Essence Divine Emperor's mind, his sea of consciousness suddenly shrank. There seemed to be a danger that even his domain couldn't stop. What was going on? The Dao Essence Divine Emperor raised his hand and was about to take out a defensive magic treasure when he felt his purple palace being pierced by a needle-like thing. An aura of death filled his body. It seemed like his sea of consciousness was bound and his body was filled with a terrifying but violent aura that didn't explode. Not good, this. Before the Dao Essence Divine Emperor could fight back, Ningcheng's dark consciousness explosion tore through. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor's head suddenly exploded with blood rain. His essence spirit seeped out and he didn't dare to stay for even a second. He immediately escaped. Unfortunately, Ning Cheng didn't use all his spirit sense to activate the dark consciousness explosion. Plus, his spirit essence was weak, so it couldn't kill his essence spirit. Feeling extremely weak, Ning Cheng could only swallow a few Empyrean consciousness transmutation pills. A Tao Essence Divine Emperor who was still outside suddenly had his head explode. The cultivators attacking Ning Cheng all paused for a moment. Some even retreated. Ning Cheng seemed to have some kind of shadowless and invisible means of attack. This kind of means that no one would dare to not fear. Regardless of how much time he would have to temporarily retreat, it would also give Ning Cheng precious time to catch his breath. Ning Cheng once again took out a few pills and swallowed them down. The void cold light spear once again rolled up a ripple, as he wanted to stimulate the twin wings of the heavenly clouds to escape. Not only does this person have the wood origin bead, but he is also a wanted person of my boundless palace. Everyone, let's attack together. My boundless palace's primordial chaos holy emperor will arrive soon. As long as everyone can hold him back, everyone will be an honored guest of my boundless palace. As his voice fell, several powerful rays of light bombarded Ning Cheng's traceless spear pattern, which had broken through the spatial blockade. Ning Cheng paused for a moment, but before he could leave, he was once again stopped. Ning Cheng took a deep breath. He knew that not only were his injuries not light, but his essence chi had also been severely damaged. If he couldn't leave before the primordial chaos holy emperor arrived, then he would never leave. The Boundless Palace's people had arrived and directly said that Ning Cheng was the person wanted by the Boundless Palace. The originally stagnant attacks once again moved forward, and dozens of weapons rays of light bombarded Ning Cheng. However, things didn't go as the Boundless Palace's people expected. After the Boundless Palace's name came out, everyone rushed forward. Most people didn't come forward to attack. Instead, they slowed down. Several Tao Essence Divine Emperors, who wanted to come forward, directly stopped in their tracks. With the Boundless Palace's intervention, they could forget about getting the wood origin bead. Although the Boundless Palace's reward was precious, it would never be the wood origin bead. When they thought that Ning Cheng could explode someone's head invisibly, several Tao Essence Divine Emperors felt a chill in their hearts. If they could get the wood origin bead, they would naturally take the risk. But now, they desperately rushed forward, and the wood origin bead had to be given to the Boundless Palace. Who would be willing to try? Ning Cheng swallowed several spirit explosion pills, and the Yellow Springs Bridge's Tao runes around Ning Cheng became even clearer. The surging Yellow River was like the nine heavens Milky Way flowing backwards, directly sweeping towards these cultivators rushing over. The Yellow Springs was boundless, without good or evil. The soul turned to dust, the spirit lost. The Yellow Springs Tao runes came wave after wave, and another dozen divine emperors were swept away by Ning Cheng's Yellow Springs Bridge, disappearing into the Yellow River. This time, Ning Cheng didn't retreat. Instead, he moved forward. The void cold light spear swept towards the Boundless Palace's early-stage Tao transformation divine emperor. The spatial distance disappeared, and time stagnated. The huge difference in strength made this Tao transformation divine emperor unable to fight back at all under Ning Cheng's void cold light spear and was torn apart by the void cold light spear. After killing this Boundless Palace's Tao transformation divine emperor, Ning Cheng became even weaker. Because Ning Cheng had consumed too much energy, the side effects of the spirit explosion pill appeared prematurely. Even though everyone knew that Ning Cheng was an arrow at the end of its flight, no one was willing to go forward and die. They knew that as long as a few more people went forward, Ning Cheng would definitely die. In a situation where the wood origin bead was reserved by the Boundless Palace, no one wanted to take this risk. There were many people here, but no one was willing to work together. They were all thinking about how much they could get and how much they had to pay. After Ning Cheng killed the Boundless Palace's Tao transformation divine emperor, the surroundings paused for a moment. This second pause finally allowed Ning Cheng to use his twin wings of the heavenly clouds. Go back and tell Feng Xian that what I said before counts. I will definitely visit him. After leaving this sentence, Ning Cheng's figure disappeared. The Boundless Palace's powerhouses didn't come. Although there were many people stronger than Ning Cheng here, no one went to chase after Ning Cheng. The reason was that the Boundless Palace's people shouldn't have said that Ning Cheng was wanted by them. It wasn't that the Boundless Palace's reputation wasn't good, but that the Boundless Palace's reputation was too great. That's why no one dared to take away the wood origin bead and other things from the Boundless Palace. If not for the wood origin bead or the other things on Ning Cheng, who would be willing to chase after Ning Cheng? It wasn't until a few breaths later that someone shouted, "This person is wanted by the Boundless Palace. How can we let him go?" With this sentence, everyone controlled their flight-type weapons to chase after Ning Cheng. There were only a few people following behind Ning Cheng. Most of the people quickly dispersed. They were happy to do things for the Boundless Palace, but it depended on what they wanted to do. In a blink of an eye, only the space in the bustling Fallen Wood Temple was still surging, indicating that a bloody battle had just taken place here. Boundless Palace. Feng Xian stood with his hands behind his back. Below him was a pretty young woman. Before Ning Cheng went to Luo Etian's Void City and joined forces with that Mang Yong, find out which Void Cities he went through and which teleportation arrays he used. Even if he came from beyond the heavens, I will find out where he came from. Feng Xian's tone was a little cold, without any warmth. He had never seen such an arrogant Dao transformation ant before. He, Feng Xian, would let Ning Cheng understand what kind of existence the Boundless Palace was. "Yes, Palace Master." The pretty young woman bowed to the ground. After responding, she slowly retreated out of the room. Grand Essence Realm's Heaven Essence Sacred City, the premier sacred city of the Grand Essence Domain. Today's Heaven Essence Sacred City was more prosperous and lively than before. No matter who it was, owning a mansion in Heaven Essence Sacred City was a matter of face. After Ning Cheng won the third place in the Five Realms Pill competition, the reputation of the Pill Association rose. As for Ning Cheng's reputation, it was like the sun in the sky in the Grand Essence Realm. Sidu Chen Chiu Tian's reputation had also reached a peak. Coupled with Sidu Chen Chiu Tian's perfect Dao heart, the Pill Association became even more famous. The only regret was that Ning Cheng didn't come back. According to Sidu Chen Chiu Tian, Ning Cheng had to do something in the Grand Change Realm before he could return. Knowing that Ning Cheng and Sidu Chen Chiu Tian had a good relationship, those who wanted to visit Ning Cheng came to the Heaven Essence Sacred Cities Pill Association to visit Sidu Chen Chiu Tian and even visit the Three Sword Mountains. In addition to wanting to make friends with Ning Cheng, they also wanted to visit Ning Cheng to get a spot in the Grand Change Realm. Ning Cheng won the top 3 in the Pill competition and got a spot in the Grand Change Realm. The Grand Essence Realm was one of the 5 Grand Realms. Unfortunately, the laws here weren't complete. Those who could cultivate to primordial chaos all had their own opportunities. As for Dao Unification Holy Emperors, there were only a few in the entire Grand Essence Realm. Moreover, when they reached Dao Unification, they didn't rely on the Grand Essence Realm's heaven and earth laws. It's just that Ning Cheng didn't come back, and Sidu Chen Chiu Tian couldn't make the decision for Ning Cheng. In the beginning, everyone could still accept it. But one day, when the news that Ning Cheng offended someone in the Grand Change Realm and ended up being killed, those who wanted to make friends with Ning Cheng couldn't wait any longer. Because this rumor was too real. Even the details of the Luing Dao Court's Wading Sacred Dao City's city lord, Lu Fangzhen, started to spread. It also said that Ning Cheng left the Alchemy Dao sect during the 3rd round of the 5 Realms Pill competition. Then, Lu Fangzhen followed him out. But after that, there was no news about Ning Cheng. If the various forces in the Grand Essence Realm could still wait for Ning Cheng to come back, now that the news of Ning Cheng's death came out, the sects waiting for Ning Cheng to come back became restless. They started to ask the Pill Saints who had gone to the Grand Change Realm about the situation. Although a few of them remained silent, it made everyone believe that Ning Cheng had truly died. With Ning Cheng's death, the forces who wanted to go to the Grand Change Realm no longer had the patience to wait. The Heaven Essence Sacred Cities Pill Meet was already packed with forces from all over the world. They came here for only one purpose, that is, to ask Sidu Chin Chio Tian to hand over the spots to the Grand Change Realm. Union Master Sidu Chin, my River Luo sacred sect only needs 2 spots. Sidu Chin Chio Tian said in a deep voice, Dao friend Tong Mingzi, I've said it many times. These spots belong to Pil Saint Ning. He won the 3rd place in the Pil meet. I have no right to allocate him a spot to the Grand Change Realm. The one who spoke was Tong Mingzi, who had a grudge against Ning Cheng. After hearing Sidu Chin Chio Tian's words, he spoke up in an unfriendly tone, Union Master Sidu Chin, you're the Union Master of my Grand Essence Realm's Pil meet. You should consider the Grand Essence Realm. Why are there so few Dao Perfection Holy Emperors in my Grand Essence Realm? Why aren't there many Primordial Essence Holy Emperors? It's because the Grand Essence Realm's heaven and earth laws are incomplete. Now that everyone has a chance to go to the Grand Change Realm, you want to stop it from happening? What do you mean by this? What's more, even if these spots belong to Ning Cheng, he should have given a few to my River Luo sacred sect. I won't mention that he killed my disciple Guahauga, but he and my River Luo sacred sect's Shan Yaotsen are Dao companions. Can't he just ask for 1 or 2 spots? Dao companions? Situ Chin Chio Tian frowned suddenly. How come he didn't know about this? Pil Saint Ning and my 9 Revolutions sacred Dao Pond have always been friends. He even personally proposed marriage to my 9 Revolutions sacred Dao Pond. Many people have heard about it. I believe that 9 Revolutions sacred Dao Pond should be able to ask for 3 spots. Everyone knows that Profound Moon Spirit Gate's disciple Qi Shizingsing and Pil Saint Ning are friends. It shouldn't be too much for my Profound Moon Spirit Gate to ask for a spot. Fei Feng's tone was equally blunt. As for the conflict between him and Ning Cheng, he directly ignored it. Chapter 11:17. Ning Cheng knew that the Realmless Palace's Feng Xian would come looking for him, but Ning Cheng did not worry about it. He had traveled from Duo T Void City to Luo E Tian Void City for at least 6 to 7 years. After that, he was trapped in the Jiaoliang Mountain for a few years. No matter how powerful the Boundless Palace was, it was not easy to find him. Even if they found it, it would be many years later. Many years later, he might even reach Dao Essence. Dao Essence was the 2nd step of Dao Vindication. It was a huge difference compared to Dao Actualization Divine Emperor. No matter how powerful Feng Xian was, he was only at the 2nd step of Dao Validation. One day, it would be his turn to settle the score with Feng Xian. As for what happened to the Grand Essence Realm Pil because of him, Ning Cheng didn't even think about it. Of course, if he was in the Grand Essence Realm, wouldn't the 9 Revolutions Sacred Dao Pond and the Profound Moon Spirit Gate also want a spot? Get out of my sight. By this time, Ning Cheng's Starry Sky Wheel had been flying for more than a year. He didn't take the original route back. Instead, he took a detour to another Void City before slowly heading towards the Cyan Light Void City. He did not need to return to the Duo T Void City at all, as there was a 5-realm Void City teleportation array in the Green Light Void City. On the deck of the Starry Sky Wheel, Yanji leaned against Ning Cheng's shoulder and let Chasing Bull control the Starry Sky Wheel. After all these years of seclusion in the mysterious yellow bead, Yanji's cultivation had already stabilized. After knowing that Ning Cheng was injured, she did not go into seclusion again. Can I also call you Xiaoqing from now on? Yanji, after listening to the matters between Tian Muwen and Ning Cheng, suddenly spoke up. Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, Of course, my name is Xiaoqing. I'm different from her. Even if I die, I won't humiliate you in front of another man. I don't like this woman. Compared to elder sister Luofei and elder sister Qianghua, Tian Mu Wan is simply 2. Yanji was not used to scolding Tian Mu Wan behind her back, as such she did not continue to speak. In her opinion, Tian Mu Wan gave the pearl hair clip that Ning Cheng had given to another man and deliberately threw it into the sewers, which was an extremely heavy insult to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng hesitated for a moment before speaking. You can't blame her for this. In the place where I live, this kind of thing is not a big deal. It was normal for men and women to separate and reunite. It's just that I don't like it, so even if that thing didn't happen, I'm afraid the 2 of us wouldn't be able to be together. Tian Mu Wan's personality was too strong, Perhaps she herself was not aware of it. When she was weaker than him, he might not have felt it. If she was stronger than him, it would be difficult for the two of them to get along. I guess she regretted it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have given the wood origin bead to you. Yanji thought of being by Ning Cheng's side. In comparison, she felt much happier than Tian Muan. Ning Cheng was silent. In any case, Tian Muan was his first lover. Even if they were to separate, he didn't want her to feel unhappy. Originally, he had planned to purchase the wood origin bead from Tian Yuan, but he didn't expect such a thing to happen. Xiao Cheng, you already have the wood origin bead, why don't you improve the mysterious yellow bead's world? Yanji, on seeing Ning Cheng remain silent, knew that he was probably still thinking about Tian Muan's matter, and quickly changed the topic. Ning Cheng gave out a sigh. I was thinking that if one day I managed to find the breath soil, then I would have perfected the mysterious yellow beads world in advance. At that time, I would definitely regret it. Ning Cheng knew about the origin of the 5 elements spirit water. It was the water that condensed within the good fortune world the moment it formed. Most importantly, if his good fortune world didn't have the breath soil when it formed, the mysterious yellow bead wouldn't have produced the 5 elements spirit water when it gathered the 5 elements origin to form the good fortune world. Therefore, if he wanted to obtain the 5 elements spirit water, he would have to obtain the breath soil and use it with the wood origin bead to form the good fortune world. Yanji already knew about these things. Seeing Ning Cheng sigh, Yanji quickly tried to persuade him, maybe one day, just like when we obtained the wood origin bead, we would suddenly learn about the breath soil and obtain the breath soil. Ning Cheng nodded, that's the only way. The mysterious yellow bead is now habitable, and we don't have to worry about the aura leaking out. It doesn't matter if we form the good fortune world later. Then, are we going to Jiangzhou Star? Yanji knew that Ning Cheng didn't feel at ease with Ning Rulin and Ji Luofei. Jiangzhou Star will have to wait. After I advance to the Tao Essence realm, I'm afraid that my cultivation would still be too low. In a low-level interface like Jiangzhou Star, the laws of heaven and earth would suppress me. If I can reach the Tao Essence realm, my understanding of the breaking laws would go to the next level. Even if it suppresses me, I might be able to resolve it. Ning Cheng held Yanji's hand and spoke softly. He wanted to take Yanji to the dragon cleansing pool and the mysterious fairy ancient clan's annual rings for cultivation. Only those places could help him advance to the Tao Essence realm in the shortest time. Grand Essence Realm Pill Meet. With several big sects taking the lead, the rest of the sects also stood up. Even some small sects came forward to ask for a spot to enter the Grand Change Realm. The pill furnace rolled back and smashed into Sichen Qiutian's chest, sending Sichen Qiutian flying and crashing into the pillar of the Pill Union's hull. After Sichen Qiutian perfected his Tao of alchemy, his cultivation grew stronger day by day. But under such a powerful force, he could only put up a slight resistance. Boom! A dull noise emerged, and the various restrictions and array formations in the Pill Union shattered under the suppression of this power. The pillar of the Pill Union's hull also collapsed. Boom, boom, boom. Like a chain reaction, after the Pill Union's main hull collapsed, the landmark of Heaven Essence Sacred City instantly turned into ruins. Even the medicinal pill suspended in front of the Pill Union was taken away by someone. The moment the Pill Union collapsed, everyone escaped and looked at the newcomer in shock. Pill Sage Sichen Qiutian's strength was unfathomable, and he was someone with the strength of Tao Fusion, who seriously injured Sichen Qiutian in just one move, and then tore down the powerful Pill Union's array formation? It's you, Mansuotin. Sichen Qiutian's mouth overflowed with blood. He sat paralyzed in the ruins of the Pill Union and stared at the newcomer coldly. No one could tell Mansuotin's age. He had a medium build, a bald head, and a horn in the middle of his head. Hearing that Mansuotin came, no one dared to speak anymore. In the Grand Essence Realm, the barbarian dragon clan wasn't much. But in the Grand Essence Realm, no one dared to provoke the Barbarian Dragon Clan because the Barbarian Dragon Clan had a Tao perfection expert, Mansuotian. Under normal circumstances, Mansuotian never came out. No one knew why Man Sutian came out of the Grand Essence Sea this time. Yes, it's me, Mansun. I heard that you have a good relationship with Ningqing? That Ningqing killed my barbarian dragon clan's disciples. Is there such a thing? Mansutian's tone turned cold, and a powerful killing intent enveloped Si Chen Xiutian. Si Chen Xiutian slowly stood up and spoke with a calm tone. Mansutian, you're a Tao perfection expert of my Grand Essence realm. Yet, you destroyed the Grand Essence realm's pill union in public. Si Chen Xiutian grew anxious, and anger filled his heart. Mansuyan spoke up calmly, you left out another thing. I not only destroyed the pill union as a Tao perfection expert, but I also nailed the pill union's master. Before Mansuotian's voice fell, a black light shot out from his hand. A powerful space domain shackled Si Chen Xiutian, making it impossible for him to move. The black nail passed through space and nailed Si Chen Xiutian's glabella. Si Chen Xiutian's eyes flashed with extreme unwillingness. He had just comprehended the mysteries and joys of the Tao of alchemy. But before he could find a way to prove his Tao of alchemy, a madman killed him. Mansotian waved his hand, and Si Chen Xiutian's ring fell into his palm. He looked back at the people around him with cold eyes and said with a calm voice, I have all the spots to go to the Grand Change Realm. If you want them, come and trade with me. Chapter 11-18. The Void City of the Five Realms was the same as when Ningqing first arrived. There were all kinds of people coming and going. Ningqing once again came out of the Five Realms Void City's teleportation array, feeling a little excited. Once he reached the Five Realms Void City, it meant that he could return to the Grand Essence Realm in a little more than a year. Flying in the void for the past few years had been too lonely. Yanji couldn't accompany him all the time. She had to return to the mysterious yellow bead to cultivate. Although Ningqing's cultivation progress inside the mysterious yellow bead was very slow, but Yanji's cultivation speed was very fast. Yanji always felt that her cultivation was too low. She wanted to become stronger. At least when Ningqing was besieged, she would have the ability to help Ningqing. In the past, even if she did not have such cultivation conditions, she would still crazily cultivate. But now that she had such conditions, even if she wanted to be intimate with Ningqing, she knew that she would have plenty of time in the future. Unfortunately, the Starry Sky Wheel did not have an artifact spirit. If it had an artifact spirit, then his speed would not only be a bit faster compared to Association Master Si Chen, but many times faster. Thinking of Si Chen Xiutian, Ningqing's heart was filled with gratitude. Sidu Chen Xiutian also had his own selfish motives. Compared to most people, Sidu Chen Xiutian was more suitable as a senior. He was very broad-minded and sincere. If it wasn't for Si Chen and Xiutian, he wouldn't even be able to cross the mysterious ancient clan, let alone participate in the Five Realms Pill competition. He had given Sidu Chen Xiutian a lot of help, but Sidu Chen Xiutian had given him even more. Walking out of the teleportation array, Ningqing decided to buy more void positional jade strips in the Five Realms Void Market before leaving. The Five Realms Void City led to various realms. The jade slips there were very complete. Ningqing was not familiar with the streets of the Five Realms Void City. The last time he came to the Five Realms Void City, he had met Qianxian on the street. It was also because of Qianxian that he had rescued Shi-Er and perfected the Fifth Reincarnation Bridge. The Fifth Reincarnation Bridge was also one of his trump cards. The last time he was surrounded by so many people, he had only used the Fourth Yellow Springs Bridge and not the Fifth Yellow Springs Bridge. The god spirit Qi in the Void Marketplace wasn't abundant, but there were many powerful people here. Ningqing's Tao actualization divine emperor power was like a drop of water in the ocean. Coupled with Ningqing's disguise as an ordinary young rogue cultivator, no one cared about him at all. There were tens of thousands of such people in the Five Realms Void City. The Five Void Commercial Building was the largest commercial building in the Five Realms Void Market. In terms of scale, it was several times larger than the Great Simplicity Commercial Building. Since Ningqing wanted to purchase all kinds of map jade strips, he naturally had to go to the Five Voids Merchant House. The Five Void Merchant House had a lot of people, and Ning Cheng could even say that he had squeezed his way in. He came to the map jade strip counter and was just about to ask the shop assistant to take out all kinds of void directional jade strips for him to see when he heard someone say, "Senior Apprentice Sister Yaotzen, the weapons here are much better than the ones in our Grand Essence realm. Moreover, the prices are also much cheaper." Senior Sister Yaotzen? Ning Cheng looked back in doubt, and immediately froze. Not far away, there was a woman wearing a green dress. Her skin was as white as snow and her eyebrows were slender. This woman was indeed Shan Yaotzen. Wasn't Shan Yaotzen from the Grand Essence Realm River's Luo sacred sect? How could he appear in the Five Realms Void City? He remembered the first time he saw Shan Yaotzen. This woman's eyes grew on top of her head, and she simply didn't put others in her eyes. However, she was indeed a beautiful woman. Back then, her long hair was tied into a fairy bun, and her immortal charm and cold temperament blended together, making it hard to forget. This time, Shan Yaotzen's long hair didn't tie into a fairy bun. Instead, it was tied behind her back, which made her look less cold and more mature. The Grand Essence Realm's laws aren't complete. Even if there are a few good things, they wouldn't be sold in a commercial building like here. Are you Dao friends from the Grand Essence Realm? Did you come to the Five Realms Void City to buy things? Or do you want to go to the Grand Change Realm? A Dao Nourishment Holy Emperor next to Shan Yaotzen and the others asked with a smile. Ning Cheng didn't know the two people standing with Shan Yaotzen. Now that someone took the initiative to ask, Shan Yaotzen and the others immediately became vigilant. It's not the time for the Five Realms pill competition or the artifact discussion. People from the Grand Essence Realm shouldn't be able to go to the Grand Change Realm. Someone immediately said, "That's not necessarily true. Pill Sage Ning of the Grand Essence Realm won the top 3 of the Five Realms pill competition. That's because of his strength. The top 3 can go to the Grand Change Realm to cultivate." You mean Pill Sage Ning Cheng? By the way, I heard people say that he refined the Heaven and Earth Epiphyllum pill with 9 different attributes. He's even stronger than Pill Sage Yu Guji. It's really amazing. Of course, I heard that Pill Master Ning was also invited by the Grand Change Pill Gatherings leader, Senior Mu. I'm afraid it's hard to find a genius alchemist like Pill Sage Ning in a million years in the Grand Essence Realm. Not to mention the Grand Essence Realm, even in the Grand Change Realm or other places, there's no such person. What do you think would happen if Pill Master Ning took the initiative to participate in the 3rd round? Some people quickly forgot about Shan Yaotzen and the others and shifted their attention to Ning Cheng in the Grand Essence Realm. Shan Yaotzen and the others looked at each other in dismay. Ning Cheng's reputation was so great that everyone in the Grand Essence Realm knew about him. What they didn't expect was that Ning Cheng's reputation was just as great in the Five Realms Void City. Not only was his reputation resounding, but he was also respected and praised by many cultivators. Only the Dao Nourishment Holy Emperor, who first talked to Shan Yaotzen and the others, still smiled and said, "If the 3 Dao friends came here specifically to buy weapons, I'm very familiar with the major merchant houses in the Five Realms Void City." Shan Yaotzen and the others immediately became vigilant. But before they could speak, someone next to them asked, "Dao friends from the Grand Essence Realm, can you tell us about Pill Sage Ning in the Grand Essence Realm?" A woman with Dao sculpting cultivation next to Shan Yaotzen quickly cupped her fists and said, "Pill Sage Ning is known as the #1 Pill Sage in the Grand Essence Realm. He's also Senior Apprentice Sister Yaotzen's Dao companion." Senior Apprentice Sister Yaotzen went to the Grand Change Realm to find Big Brother Ning. "You're Pill Sage Ning's Dao companion? No wonder. I was wondering why you're qualified to go to the Grand Change Realm. It turns out that you're Pill Sage Ning's Dao companion." The group of people who were still talking about Ning Cheng immediately changed their attitude towards Shan Yaotzen and the others with a hint of respect in their eyes. The Five Realms Void City belonged to the Five Realms, but the real boss of the Five Realms Void City was the Grand Change Realm. The Grand Change Realm attached great importance to alchemy talents, and Ning Cheng ranked 3rd in the Five Realms pill competition without participating in the 3rd round. Not only that, but Ning Cheng was also the first pill sage to receive Mu Zuoxiao's favor and an invitation. The 5 Realms Pill Competition was the top pill competition in the Grand Change realm. Getting top 3 in the 5 Realms Pill Competition would automatically improve one's status in the Grand Change realm. Just for this alone, Pill Sage Ning's reputation wasn't something ordinary people could match. Shan Yaozen was Pill Sage Ning Cheng's Dao companion, so she naturally received the respect and envy of everyone. Shan Yaozen nodded calmly. Yes, I'm Ning Cheng's Dao companion. He hasn't returned to the Grand Change realm, so I'm going to see him. Everyone, please disperse. Many thanks. Sure enough, Shan Yaozen took the initiative to admit it, and the people around her immediately dispersed. Whether they could get to know Shan Yaozen, Pill Sage Ning's Dao companion or not, no one wanted to make Pill Sage Ning's Dao companion unhappy. As for the Dao Nourishment Holy Emperor who spoke to Shan Yaozen before, he had already disappeared into the crowd. Since Shan Yaozen took the initiative to admit that she was Ning Cheng's Dao companion, almost no one doubted it. With Shan Yaozen's temperament and appearance, it was normal for such an extraordinary woman to become Ning Cheng's Dao companion. Looking at the crowd making way for her, Shan Yaozen felt very satisfied. The kind of comfort she had been pursuing all this time filled her heart with pleasure. She liked the feeling of being respected and looked up to by others. Ning Cheng looked at Shan Yaozen in the distance and frowned slightly. When did Shan Yaozen become his Dao companion? He and Shan Yaozen had always been at odds with each other, and they even had conflicts. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng quickly squeezed out and caught up with Shan Yaozen's trio with cupped fists. 3 Dao friends, I heard that you 3 Dao friends came from the Grand Essence realm. I would like to ask if Association Master Si Qin is leading the team this time? Si Qin Qiu Tian? The 3 immediately looked at Ning Cheng with vigilance. Ning Cheng's strength far surpassed Shan Yaozen's trio, so he immediately felt this vigilance. He asked Si Qin Qiu Tian why he looked at him with such vigilance. What's your relationship with Association Master Si Qin? Shan Yaozen stared at Ning Cheng and asked in a flat tone. Ning Cheng's powerful senses immediately sensed the indifference and hostility in Shan Yaozen's tone. This kind of subconscious expression couldn't hide from him at all. Shan Yaozen was a disciple of River Luo's sacred sect. Since she got a place to go to the Grand Change realm, it must have been given by Association Master Si Qin Qiu Tian. She should be grateful to Si Qin Qiu Tian. But this kind of indifference and hostility didn't seem right. It's like this. My master is the Grand Change Pill Association's Dao Essence Pill Sage, AI Mushing. I was about to have an alchemy duel with Association Master Si Qin last time, but I didn't expect Association Master Si Qin to leave in a hurry. If Association Master Si Qin comes, I will quickly report to my master and arrange an alchemy duel. Ning Cheng quickly said. Shan Yaozen frowned slightly. Why would your master and Association Master Si Qin want to have an alchemy duel? Speaking of an alchemy duel with Si Qin Qiu Tian, Shan Yaozen's hostility weakened a bit. If Ning Cheng didn't know about the conflict between Shan Yaozen and Association Master Si Qin, then he would have lived in the void for so many years in vain. Ning Cheng's expression changed and he spoke with a slightly tough tone, because my master doesn't like Si Qin Qiu Tian. He's just a Grand Essence Realm Pill Association's association master, yet he's so arrogant and doesn't know what's good for him. Just tell me if Si Qin Qiu Tian is in the Void City of the 5 Realms. If he is, I'll go find him myself. Shan Yaozen smiled. I'm afraid that won't work. Association Master Si Qin has been punished for some matters and can't come here for the time being. What? Ning Cheng froze. Punished Si Qin Qiu Tian? Who would have such courage? Even the sect masters of the top 10 sects wouldn't have the guts to talk about punishing Si Qin Qiu Tian, right? After Shan Yaozen finished this sentence, she ignored Ning Cheng and turned around to leave. Ning Cheng frowned and didn't continue to chase after her. At this moment, he couldn't wait to fly back to the Grand Essence Realm and ask what was going on. Moreover, Si Qin Qiu Tian had given the Grand Change Realm quota to these sections. Yet, not only did Shan Yaozen not feel any gratitude towards Si Qin Qiu Tian, but her tone also contained a hint of hitting someone when they were down. Did these people's consciences get eaten by dogs? Chapter 11:19. Ning Qing didn't even have the mood to buy the void positional jade strip. Instead, he teleported away from the Five Realms Void City as fast as he could. A year later, Ning Qing stood on the starry sky wheel with a hint of excitement on his face. The Grand Essence Realm was right in front of him. 20 to 30 years away from the Grand Essence Realm might be a blink of an eye for other cultivators. But for Ning Qing, who had just left Earth, it was a long time. Because of the Array Dao Jade strip left behind by Nyenyen, Ning Qing could get by without Yenji's company. During the few years on the road, his cultivation didn't progress much, but his Array Dao level almost surpassed the top Spirit Array Grandmasters. Even Ning Qing himself could not estimate his own attainments in the Dao of Arrays. At this time, not to mention restoring the teleportation array to the 4 grand starry skies under the Grand Essence Sea, he could even refine some of the teleportation array's components. If his cultivation was strong enough, setting up a teleportation array between interfaces wouldn't be a problem for him. But on the way from the Five Realms Void City to the Grand Essence Realm, Ning Qing found it difficult to calm down and deduce the Array Dao. He had always been worried about Si Chen Qiu-Tian's punishment. With Si Chen Qiu-Tian's strength, no one could punish him unless the top 10 sects joined forces. Otherwise, only Dao Perfection powerhouses could do so. Moreover, there were only a few Dao Perfection powerhouses in the Grand Essence Realm, and they were all seeking the third step of Dao confirming. How could they have the time to punish Si Chen Qiu-Tian? The defensive array outside the Grand Essence Realm was almost non-existent. Ning Qing didn't have to exert much effort to enter the Grand Essence Realm. Thinking about the powerful protective array around the Grand Change Realm, Ning Qing couldn't help but feel a little emotional. He wondered when the Grand Essence Realm would become like the Grand Change Realm. If the Grand Essence Realm wanted to become like the Grand Change Realm, the Grand Essence Realm's heaven and earth laws could be restored and the realm's earth veins could be restored. But who would have the means to restore the Grand Essence Realm? Ning Qing shook his head. He also felt that it wasn't realistic. After entering the Grand Essence Realm, Ning Qing put away the starry sky wheel and entered the Heaven Essence Sacred City with the appearance of an ordinary rogue cultivator. He remembered the first time he came to the Heaven Essence Sacred City. Ning Qing marveled at the prosperity and grandeur here. From afar, the Heaven Essence Sacred City looked like a floating city surrounded by white clouds. Moreover, it didn't have any forbidden flight restrictions. Perhaps this was a place where there was no flight restriction, but no one dared to fly here. After everyone arrived at the Heaven Essence Sacred City, they immediately put away their flight-type weapons and chose to walk into the city. After many years, when Ning Qing came to the Heaven Essence Sacred City again, it still didn't have any flight restriction. But unlike before, there were several flight-type weapons flying around the Heaven Essence Sacred City. Some of them directly rushed into the Sacred City, while others flew out of it. They didn't care about the gazes of others. What was going on? Ning Qing frowned a little. Just like before, he put away his flight-type weapon and walked to the entrance of Heaven Essence Sacred City. The entrance of the Heaven Essence Sacred City didn't have the same bustling scene as before. Although there were still a lot of people, it looked a lot more deserted compared to before. It couldn't compare to the reputation of the premier sacred city in the Grand Essence domain. How could there be such a huge change in just a few decades? Ning Qing found it hard to think clearly. In his opinion, Heaven Essence Sacred City had existed for many years. If it wanted to change, it would have changed a long time ago. Why did it change when he left? What Ning Qing didn't know was that Heaven Essence Sacred City had only changed in a few years. After entering the Heaven Essence Sacred City, Ning Qing immediately went to the Pill Union. After an incense stick worth of time, Ning Qing stood in front of the Pill Union in a daze. The Pill Union in the shape of a pill furnace had disappeared, and the big pill with pill charm lingering in front of the Pill Union had also disappeared. A new ship-shaped building had appeared on the site of the Pill Union, with the words Barbarian Dragon Merchant City written above it. Did the Barbarian Dragon clan occupy the Pill Union? Thinking about what Shan Yaotzen said about Union Master Si Chen being punished, Ning Qing immediately thought of Man Suyin. Only Man Suyin had the ability to punish Si Chen Qiu-Tian. But why did Man Suyin do this? He was a Tao Perfection Holy Emperor. When Ning Cheng recalled that Man Suyin was a Tao Perfection Holy Emperor, it suddenly dawned on him. Man Suyin was indeed a Tao Perfection Holy Emperor, but the Grand Essence C was also part of the Grand Essence domain. If Man Suotian wanted to comprehend the third step of Tao confirming, he could only go to the Grand Change Realm. Even if Man Suotian was a Tao Perfection powerhouse, he wasn't qualified to go to the Grand Change Realm. His strength was enough to dominate the Grand Essence Realm, but he wasn't qualified to go to the Grand Change Realm. Ning Cheng's only chance was to obtain a quota for the 5 Realms Pill competition. With the quota for the 5 Realms Pill competition, even the Realm Lord of the Grand Change Realm wouldn't find an excuse to expel Man Suotian from the Grand Change Realm. As Ning Cheng thought of this, all the clues connected. The quota he obtained to the Grand Change Realm was in the hands of Si Chen Chiotian. Si Chen Chiotian might give it to other sects, but he definitely wouldn't give it to Man Suotian. Si Chen Chiotian knew that he had a grudge with the Barbarian Dragon Clan, so how could he give his quota to Man Suotian? If Si Chen Chiotian didn't give the quota to Man Suotian, then how could Man Suotian give up in order to comprehend the third step of Tao confirming in the Grand Change Realm? No matter how many Manchuran Ning Cheng killed, Man Suotian might not come out of seclusion to settle accounts with him. But a quota to the Grand Change Realm was enough for Man Suotian to give up everything. Ning Cheng's heart sank. If Man Suotian took action, then Union Master Si Chen wouldn't just be punished. Ning Cheng didn't enter the Barbarian Dragon Merchant house. Instead, he turned around and prepared to look for Sword Tri-Mountain. He didn't have many friends in the Heaven Essence Sacred City, but Sword Tri-Mountain and Cheng Ho Tian were trustworthy friends. Hijie? Ning Cheng didn't go far before he saw an acquaintance. When he took the Pill Saint exam, Hijie had led the way. Because of him, Hijie had gained a foothold in the Pill Union. Since the Pill Union was destroyed, seeing Hijie at this time, Ning Cheng naturally wanted to come forward and ask about it. Hijie lowered her head and walked in a hurry. She seemed to want to go out of the city. Ning Cheng quickly stepped forward to stop Hijie. "This Tao friend, wait." Suddenly stopped, Hijie quickly took a few steps back and stared at Ning Cheng with vigilance. "I don't know you. Why are you looking for me?" Ning Cheng cupped his fists and said, "I want to ask where the Pill Union moved to?" Hijie's expression changed, but she immediately said, "Sorry, I don't know about this." After saying that, she turned around to leave. Ning Cheng quickly sent a sound transmission. "Hijie, I changed my appearance. You don't know me. I'm Ning Cheng. You were the one who led the way to the Pill Union's assessment. Do you remember?" Ning Cheng had a lot of faith in Hijie's character. He had even given her a good medicinal pill. Hijie felt shocked. But she quickly reacted and sent a sound transmission. "Pill Sage Ning, hurry up and come with me. This is not a place to stay for long." Hearing Hijie's words, Ning Cheng knew that he didn't see wrong. An hour later, in a place far away from Heaven Essence Sacred City, Ning Cheng stopped the airship. "Hijie, what's going on with the Pill Union?" Hijie's eyes turned red. "Pill Sage Ning, Man Suotian killed Association Master Si Chen. Everyone in our Pill Union saw it clearly. Not only did Si Chen and Xiao Tian die, but Man Suotian also killed many of the Pill Union's elders. Man Suotian broke into the Pill Union's headquarters. At first, no one thought that he would attack the Association Master. By the time others reacted, he had already made his move. Seeing the Association Master die, the Pill Union's elders immediately took action. Man Suotian was just too powerful. Moreover, no one from the other sects came forward to help the Pill Union. Plus, the Pill Union still had many experts who couldn't rush back in time. In that battle, Man Suotian turned the Pill Union into a river of blood and killed almost half of the Pill Union's elite Pill Saints. Man Suotian! Ning Cheng roared. Si Chen and Xiao Tian could be said to be half teacher and half friend. With Si Chen and Xiao Tian's reputation in the Grand Essence Realm, Man Suotian dared to kill them. Did he think that his Barbarian Dragon Clan was strong enough to sweep away everything? Ning Cheng clenched his fists until blue veins popped out on his hands. He couldn't wait to kill the Barbarian Dragon Clan and uproot the entire Barbarian Dragon Clan. But he also knew that he didn't have the strength to do so right now. Pill Sage Ning, you must be careful. Everyone thinks that you have fallen. If you show up now, once others learn about it, someone will definitely attack you. Feeling Ning Cheng's monstrous anger, He Jie quickly whispered to persuade him. When the Pill Union existed, Ning Cheng's appearance now was an honor and the object of everyone's pursuit. But without the Pill Union, Ning Cheng was just a child carrying gold. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. Although he carried gold, he wasn't a child. He waved his hand and said, "You don't have to worry. Tell me the details of the situation." When the Elixir Association was attacked by Man Suyin, who left? Among those who came, who were watching from the sidelines, who spoke up to help, or did they lend a hand? Regardless of his friendship with Si Chen and Qiu Tian, even Ning Cheng himself was the second Pill Sage of the Pill Union, a Dao Essence Pill Sage. Man Suotian dared to risk universal condemnation and kill the Pill Union. Ning Cheng also dared to kill the barbarian dragon clan. The principle he pursued was not that there would be an end to revenge, but that he had to take revenge when there was a grudge. He Jie rubbed her red and swollen eyes and began to narrate the situation that day. She also had deep feelings for the Pill Union. Without the Pill Union, there wouldn't be today's He Jie. An hour later, Ning Cheng calmly looked into the distance. He heard that the River Luo sacred sect also had a Dao perfection expert. Although he didn't come out, the River Luo sacred sect had stepped on his bottom line. After he advanced to the Dao essence realm, the first thing he would do was to destroy the barbarian dragon clan. As for Man Suyin, even if he was a Dao perfection holy emperor, so what? Even if he had to play dirty, he would kill this fellow. River Luo sacred sect, he would still go there. You said that apart from Silver Dragon Clan's Gong Huayu, no one else stood up to speak up for the Pill Union? Ning Qing didn't expect Gong Huayu to be so loyal. He felt sure that Gong Huayu spoke up for the Pill Union because of him. After Gong Huayu spoke a few words, Silver Dragon Clan's patriarch Gong Wu scolded him. He didn't dare to continue. As for the rest of the major sects, apart from a few who didn't come, none of them stood up to speak up for our Pill Union. I see. Ning Qing nodded. Do you know where Man Suotian went after that? Ning Qing guessed that He Jie didn't know about it, but he couldn't help but ask. He Jie hesitated before saying, Man Suyin wasn't on the void airship that left Heaven Essence Sacred City for the Great Change Realm. Chapter 1120. Do you know if Sword Pill Sage and the others are still in Heaven Essence Sacred City? Ning Qing guessed that a powerhouse like Man Suyin wouldn't notice Sword Trishan, Xan Xiao, and Wu Qihong. But even if Man Suotian didn't care about it, it was hard to say for the others in the Barbarian Dragon Clan. He Jie nodded, I know. The day the Pill Union was destroyed, Sword Pill Sage left. The next day, the City Master's mansion took away your pill house in Heaven Essence Sacred City. Ning Cheng felt relieved. Sword Trishan was an old fox with a shrewd mind. As soon as the Pill Union was destroyed, he knew that something bad had happened. Since Sword Trishan left, it meant that Xan Xiao and Wu Qihong would follow him. Therefore, he didn't have to worry about it. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng took out his communication pearl and sent a message to Sword Trishan. But to his surprise, he didn't receive a reply from Sword Trishan even after a long time. Ning Qing didn't worry about it. The communication pearl was just a message left behind by his consciousness. Once it was too far away, it would be difficult to sense this kind of communication. He Jie, thank you. I'm going to leave now. Let's meet again in the future. If you need my help, remember to send me a message. After saying that, Ning Cheng took out his communication pearl and exchanged communication information with He Jie. He Jie nodded. Pill Sage Ning, you have to be careful. Heaven Essence Sacred City has now become a private place where the strong prey on the weak. Even if someone kills people in the sacred city, no one will stop them. After I leave this time, I don't plan to come back. After watching He Jie leave, Ning Cheng sent a message to Cheng Ho Tian and Ba Meng. If he didn't kill Man Suotian, he would never give up. Ning Cheng also knew that even if his attainments in the Tao of Arrays surpassed that of Spirit Array Masters, he couldn't kill Man Suotian alone. He needed help. Cheng Hotian was the deputy head of the Pill Union. Since he left because of the poisoning incident, he would definitely know about the destruction of the Pill Union. If he could find Cheng Hotian, he could slowly contact the other escaped experts of the Pill Union. The Pill Union had stood tall in the Grand Essence realm for countless years. Even if Man Suayin destroyed the Pill Union's headquarters, he couldn't destroy the Pill Union's roots. With him and Cheng Hotian taking the lead, as long as they gathered the other members of the Elixir Association, it wouldn't be Man Suatian who would catch the Elixir Association off guard. Instead, it would be them who would catch the Barbarian Dragon Tribe off guard. As for Ba Meng, he was his friend and a primordial Dao expert. If he received the news, he would naturally come over to help. After Ning Cheng sent the message, he immediately headed towards the Grand Essence Sea. In order to kill Man Suatian, apart from using his formation Dao and inviting the experts of the Elixir Association, he also needed to advance to the primordial Dao. To advance to the Dao Essence realm in a short time, Ning Cheng couldn't think of a better place than the mysterious fairy ancient clan. Although the dragon cleansing pond was good, it didn't have an annual ring tree. Furthermore, he was on good terms with Li Feng of the mysterious fairy clan, who was infinitely close to the Dao integration stage. If possible, he would naturally invite him to help out. He wanted to let Man Suatian know that the Elixir Association would not be fine after killing Si Qin and Qiu Tian and destroying the headquarters of the Elixir Association. If he killed Si Qin and Qiu Tian, then even if he, Man Huishan, reached Dao perfection, he would still have to pay the price. Even if he ate it, he would spit it out. To Ning Cheng's surprise, he received a reply from Cheng Hotian before he even reached the edge of the Grand Essence Sea. However, Ba Meng didn't reply. In his reply, Cheng Hotian asked where Ning Cheng was and said that he would rush over immediately. 2 days later, Ning Cheng saw Cheng Hotian at the edge of the Grand Essence Sea. To Ning Cheng's surprise, he saw an acquaintance standing next to Cheng Hotian. Protector Ju, a late-stage primordial chaos holy emperor. Apart from Protector Ju, there was another tall man whose cultivation was no weaker than Protector Ju's. Ning Cheng, I knew you would be fine. Cheng Hotian's surprise came from the bottom of his heart. Seeing Ning Cheng, he couldn't hide the joy he felt. Even Protector Ju, who didn't like to talk, smiled and nodded when he saw Ning Cheng. Who is this? Ning Cheng looked at the other powerhouse standing beside Protector Ju in confusion and asked. Before Cheng Hotian could speak, the tall man stepped forward and said, I'm also a protector of the Elixir Association, Jiao Exin. When Man Suyen destroyed the Elixir Association and killed the Association Master, Zhu Fanghen and I weren't in the Elixir Association. If I met that bastard, I would have swallowed his flesh and blood. Ning Cheng only now realized that Protector Ju's name was Zhu Fanghen. Cheng Hotian quickly said, After I learned that Man Suyen destroyed the Elixir Association and killed the Association Master, I rushed back. By then, Man Suyen had already left. I met Zhu Fanghen and Jiao Exin, who were rushing back. I stopped them from looking for Man Suyen. Man Suetian has already reached Dao perfection. Even if the three of us went, it would be useless. Over the past 2 years, I've been contacting the rest of the Elixir Association. One day, I will avenge Association Master Si Qin. Ning Cheng nodded. He had made friends with Cheng Hotian. He wouldn't give up on avenging Si Qin's Qiu Tian just because of a small matter. 2 protectors, Brother Hotian. We have to take revenge. I also plan to contact the people from the Elixir Association to destroy the Barbarian Dragon Clan. We can't do it by force. We have to discuss it first. Ning Cheng spoke his thoughts. Destroy the Barbarian Dragon Clan? That's one of the top 10 sections. It would cause others to talk about it. Cheng Hotian and the others felt shocked when they heard Ning Cheng's words. They just wanted to find Man Suetian for revenge. As for destroying the Barbarian Dragon Clan, they really didn't think about it. Although Man Suyen died, the Barbarian Dragon Clan didn't have much strength left. But they couldn't blatantly destroy it. The Barbarian Dragon Clan was one of the top 10 sects in the Grand Essence realm. If they destroyed it, it would cause a lot of turmoil. Ning Cheng understood the intentions of these people at a glance. He spoke up in a cold voice. When the barbarian dragon clan destroyed the Elixir Association, the top 10 sects didn't stand up to speak. The status of the Elixir Association in the Grand Essence realm is no less than that of the top 10 sections. Since Man Suotian can do something like this, we can do the same. Cheng Hotian spoke up with a solemn voice. That's not the same thing. The reason why Man Suotian dared to destroy the Elixir Association was because Sichin didn't want to take out the quota for Association Master Sichin, which caused dissatisfaction among the other sections. You can say that they have a common interest. Now that we've destroyed the Barbarian Dragon Clan, we don't have a common interest with the other sections. Ning Qing knew that Cheng Hotian was thinking about him. Once he destroyed the Barbarian Dragon Clan, it would cause a lot of trouble. But Ning Cheng's killing intent had already risen. No matter how Cheng Hotian tried to persuade him, he wouldn't move. Brother Hotian, 2 protectors, I must destroy the Barbarian Dragon Clan. It's a vile race. Ning Cheng spoke up firmly. If it weren't for his friendship with Cheng Hotian, he would have said that if they didn't go, he would go alone. From the beginning to the end, he had never seen a good thing in the Barbarian Dragon Clan. I agree with Pil Sage Ning's opinion. Protector Ju and Ning Qing had known each other for a long time and admired Ning Qing. He had seen Ning Qing get into the top 3 of the 5 Realms Pill competition with his own eyes. What's more, the Barbarian Dragon Clan had destroyed the Elixir Association. Therefore, he had long wanted to kill them. Cheng Hotian took in a deep breath and nodded. Since you've made up your mind, I will definitely support you. But you have to promise me one condition. When Ning Qing heard Cheng Hotian agree, he felt much more confident. If he wanted to destroy Man Suotian, he would need the help of the rest of the Elixir Association. Brother Hotian, speak. As long as I, Ning Qing, can do it, I will definitely agree. The Elixir Association won't disappear. Since Association Master Sichin has fallen, I hope you can take over as the Elixir Association's Association Master. Before Cheng Hotian finished speaking, Ning Qing wanted to refuse. But Cheng Hotian reached out and stopped Ning Qing from refusing. Brother Ning, you're in the top 3 of the 5 Realms Pill competition, a close friend of Association Master Sichin, and the only primordial Dao Pill Sage in the Grand Essence realm. Now that the Elixir Association has fallen to you, no one is more suitable than you to be the Association Master. The 2 protectors also nodded. Before Ning Qing appeared, Cheng Hotian was naturally the best choice for the Association Master. But now that Ning Qing returned, Ning Qing naturally became the first choice. Ning Qing didn't refuse this time. He suddenly thought that if he wanted to avenge Sichin and Qiu Tian, he had to become the Association Master. Only by becoming the Association Master would the Elixir Association have cohesion. Only then would he be able to gather the scattered members. My Grand Essence Realm's laws are already broken, and after the Elixir Association incident, our vitality has been greatly damaged. The Heaven Essence Sacred City has been occupied by some demons and monsters, creating a foul atmosphere. Thinking back to when the Elixir Association was still around, the Heaven Essence Sacred City didn't end up like this. The more Cheng Hotian spoke, the angrier he became. Ning Qing remained silent. He thought back to the time he returned to the Grand Essence Realm and the Grand Essence Realm's Boundary Protection Grand Array. But the Grand Change Realm not only had 5 Dao courts but also a Realm Lord. Brother Hodun, can the Grand Essence Realm's laws be repaired? Ning Qing suddenly asked. He wondered if he could repair the Grand Essence Realm and then join forces with the Grand Essence Realm's powerhouses to arrange a Boundary Protection Grand Array. Could he gain a foothold in the Grand Essence Realm? Although Jiangzhou Star was a good place, the level of heaven and earth laws here was too low. He couldn't stay in Jiangzhou Star forever. If the Grand Essence Realm's laws were complete, the Grand Essence Realm would be the best choice. Moreover, if the Boundless Realm Palace found the Grand Essence Realm one day and the Grand Essence Realm had a Boundary Protection Grand Array, Feng Xian wouldn't be able to come and go as he pleased. At least, he could be prepared. Ning Qing quickly shook his head. He was thinking too far into the future. Unless one day, his cultivation could sweep across the entire Grand Essence Realm. Only then would he have the opportunity to arrange the Grand Essence Realm's Boundary Protection Grand Array. Otherwise, It wouldn't be his turn to say such words. Cheng Hotian and the other two looked at Ning Cheng in doubt. They seemed to be shocked by Ning Cheng's unconstrained thoughts. Ning Cheng also knew that even if he could repair the Grand Essence Realm, it wasn't something he could do right now. Therefore, he took the initiative to speak up. Let's talk about this later. Brother Hotian, I agree to temporarily become the Pill Association's leader. But I want to deal with this matter according to my own methods. Cheng Hotian, on hearing Ning Cheng's agreement, immediately spoke up with joy. Of course, since you're the leader, everything will go according to what you say. Okay, I'd like to ask Brother Hotian and the two protectors to continue gathering the Pill Association's people. I also want to find some external help, but the time for revenge will need to be pushed back a few years. Ning Cheng said. Man Suetian used his body to achieve Dao integration. He can't leave the Grand Essence Realm for now. Even if he wanted to go to the Grand Change Realm, it wouldn't be possible in a short time. After a few years, he would definitely still be in the Barbarian Dragon Clan. I've already contacted Bei Caixia. She also wants to swallow Man Suetian immediately. Cheng Hotian didn't have any doubts about Ning Cheng's proposal. Ning Cheng felt overjoyed. He hadn't met Bei Caixia before, but he knew that she was a Dao Transformation Pill Sage and a Dao Transformation Pill Sage. Chapter 11:21. Cheng Hotian and the others left with the task Ning Cheng had given them. Before leaving, he left Ning Cheng with a ring, 10 high-grade God spiritual veins and 1 non-elemental supreme-grade God spiritual vein. He had given it to Ning Cheng after knowing that he wanted to take the opportunity to break through to the Dao Essence Realm. As for medicinal pills, Ning Cheng definitely had better ones than him. Ancient Surf Mystery Clan. The white-haired and bony Li Feng was sitting on a praying mat. Half of his exposed chest seemed to be swaying in the wind. Sitting below him were 3 people, one of whom was Jean Malong, the one who had taken Ning Cheng to the Tree Ring Cultivation Hall. Other than Jean Malong, there was a man and a woman. The man also had a golden fringe on his forehead. Patriarch, Ning Cheng is here. I estimate that he will arrive in half an incense stick's worth of time. Do you want to see him? The one who spoke was Jean Malong. If nothing had happened to the Pill Association, he would not have said such a thing. Li Feng opened her eyes and said, since I'm the one who gave him the jade medallion, he's our honored guest. Of course, we welcome him. A middle-aged man sitting next to Jean Malong said, Patriarch, Man Suyin is a Dao integration expert. He will find out sooner or later that Ning Cheng came to our mysterious crossing clan. Li Feng waved her hand. If you know, then so be it. My mysterious crossing clan is afraid of the future and has been making no progress over the years. It's true that Man Suyin is a Dao integration expert, but the mysterious crossing ancient clan isn't necessarily afraid of him. Ning Cheng is a primordial Dao alchemy saint. Since I gave him the jade card, it means that I think highly of him. I'm guessing that he came to the mysterious fairy clan to ask for our help. Patriarch, are we going to help him deal with Barbarian Dragon Clan's Man Huishan? The woman suddenly asked. Li Feng shook her head. Although I think highly of him and am not afraid of Man Suan, I will not offend Man Sion for such a small matter. Now that he's here, I have something to say. Unless he lost his mind, he wouldn't offend Man Huishan for no reason for Ning Cheng, a Dao Essence Pill Saint. Wouldn't that be courting death? Patriarch, why are you so sure that Ning Cheng wants our mysterious crossing ancient clan to take action? I feel like he's here to ask for the life ring to cultivate, said Jean Malong. Li Heng showed a slight smile. Ning Cheng is also a genius. The last time he came, he was only at the Dao sculpting realm. After cultivating in the tree ring for a few months, he actually advanced to the Dao birth. However, no matter how talented he was, it was impossible for him to advance to the Dao transformation in a short time with the help of the annual ring. Therefore, he probably wasn't here to use the annual rings to cultivate, but to ask for help. He's already here. Mo Long, you're familiar with him. Go receive him. Even if I don't do anything, I have to show my respect to him. Yes. Jean Malong quickly stood up and walked out of the room. He also felt that he was thinking too much. Ning Cheng had just advanced to the Dao birth not long ago. How could he use the annual ring to break through to the Dao transformation so soon? Ning Cheng stood alone on a barren part of the Grand Essence Sea. The last time he came here, it was Si Chen's Qiu Tian who brought him here. In order to help him, Sidu Chen's Qiu Tian had used up his only chance to get the mysterious fairy clan to act. What Sidu Chen Qiu Tian had said at the time still rang in Ning Cheng's ears, but Sidu Chen Qiu Tian had already died. Back then, he had promised that if Sidu Chen Qiu Tian needed his help, he would never refuse it. However, he hadn't helped Sidu Chen Qiu Tian much. He had only helped Sidu Chen Qiu Tian improve his Dao heart. Now that Sidu Chen Qiu Tian had been killed by Man Suotian, he wouldn't be able to forgive himself if he couldn't avenge Sidu Chen Qiu Tian. Ning Cheng took out the jade card and activated it. A blue light swept him away. Pil Sage Ning, you're a rare guest. Ning Cheng had just set foot on the ground when a happy voice came over. Ning Cheng knew the person who had come. It was Jean Malong. When he and Sidu Chen Qiu Tian had come here, they hadn't received Jean Malong but an ordinary disciple. Brother Jean, Ning Cheng had nowhere to go, so I came here to avoid trouble. Ning Cheng felt sure that Jean Malong knew about the destruction of the Pil Association, so he spoke in a humble manner. What are you talking about? For Pil Sage Ning to come to the mysterious crossing ancient clan. Jean Malong's words suddenly stopped as he looked at Ning Cheng in disbelief. Pil Sage Ning, you've already reached Dao transformation? He couldn't help but feel shocked. Just as the patriarch had said, Ning Cheng had only reached Dao sculpting the first time he came here. Later, Ning Cheng had advanced to Dao birth with the help of the life ring. Therefore, even the patriarch didn't think that Ning Cheng had come here to cultivate with the help of the life ring. He also felt that the patriarch was right. But what was going on? How did Ning Cheng reach Dao transformation? Ning Cheng smiled. It was just a fluke. I came here to cultivate with the help of the life ring for a while. I don't know if it's presumptuous of me. Everyone thought that Ning Cheng hadn't come here to cultivate with the help of the life ring. They never expected that Ning Cheng would really use the life ring for cultivation. Of course not. Pil Sage Ning, please. Just as Jean Malong finished speaking, he heard Li Feng's voice. Ha, Pil Sage Ning is truly a distinguished guest. Please come in. Li Feng actually came out with a smile. Even if his eyes were filled with enthusiasm, he couldn't hide the shock in his heart. After proving one's Dao, every advancement was extremely difficult. It wasn't as simple as just accumulating resources. Greetings, Patriarch. Ning Cheng quickly stepped forward and greeted. Before Ning Cheng could continue, Li Feng took Ning Cheng's hand and said, Come, Pil Sage Ning, let me introduce you to the two of them. After saying that, Li Feng pointed to the middle-aged man and said, This is my mysterious crossing ancient clan's Xiao Mozi. Next to Mozi is Huabing. Ning Cheng also hurriedly stepped forward and greeted. Ning Cheng greets brother Xiao and sister Hua. He was secretly shocked by the strength of the mysterious crossing ancient clan. Although Huabing hadn't reached primordial chaos, she was definitely at the perfected primordial Dao or even a half-step primordial chaos existence. Her cultivation level was slightly higher than Jean Malong's. Xiao Mozi was definitely a primordial chaos expert, and a late-stage primordial chaos one at that. Ning Cheng hadn't seen him the last time. The two of them didn't dare to be arrogant and hurriedly stepped forward to return the greeting. Ning Cheng's cultivation level hadn't reached the second step, but he was a primordial Dao alchemy saint. His title as a primordial Dao alchemy saint wasn't any weaker than a primordial chaos sacred emperor. Pil Sage Ning is truly a genius. You succeeded in Dao transformation in such a short time. Li Feng brought Ning Cheng inside. Ning Cheng smiled slightly and didn't pretend to be modest. The mysterious crossing ancient clans Li Feng wanted to associate with him mainly because he was a primordial Dao alchemy saint and had the potential to develop. If he didn't even have this, he wouldn't be qualified to associate with the mysterious crossing ancient clan. After everyone sat down in the guest hall again, Ning Cheng took out a jade bottle and handed it to Li Feng. This is a bottle of heaven essence heavenly pills that I occasionally refined. It's just a small token of my appreciation. I hope that Clan Headley doesn't mind. Li Feng suddenly stood up and quickly grabbed the jade bottle to open it. He quickly confirmed that it was a bottle of Heaven Essence Heavenly Pills, and it was a high-grade bottle of Heaven Essence Heavenly Pills. Many thanks, Pill Sage Ning. This is a medicinal pill that my mysterious crossing ancient clan desperately needs. It's not a small token of my appreciation, but a great help to my mysterious crossing ancient clan. Even with Li Feng's experience, he couldn't help but feel happy. A bottle of Heaven Essence Heavenly Pills was a top-notch item in the entire Great Essence realm. Heaven Essence Heavenly Pills were a Dao pill used to comprehend primordial Dao sacred emperors. The mysterious crossing ancient clan had growth rings. Coupled with this bottle of Heaven Essence Heavenly Pills, they might have 2 more primordial Dao experts. Despite this, Li Feng still didn't ask what Ning Qing needed help with. Ning Qing, just say it. Although he wanted to say it, he knew that he couldn't say it now. Because Ning Cheng's opponent was Man Xian, who was too powerful. Ning Qing naturally wouldn't ask for Li Feng's help now. Even if he wanted Li Feng's help, he would wait until he left this place. Clan head, because my cultivation is too low, I want to use the growth rings to cultivate for a few years. Ning Qing spoke with sincerity. Not only did he not mention Li Feng's help, but he also didn't ask for the tree branch of the growth rings. Li Feng might refuse both of these things. If he mentioned it now, it wouldn't be beneficial to his cultivation. Of course, Pill Sage Ning can use the growth rings to cultivate at any time. Li Feng said without hesitation. Ning Qing stood up and cupped his fists. Many thanks, clan head. I want to go cultivate now. When Ning Qing saw the growth rings for the second time, his heart suddenly shook. The first time he came here, he saw that the growth ring was a transparent tree. He could even see the growth rings on the outside of the tree, which were traces of the flow of time. But this time, when Ning Qing looked at the growth rings again, he saw a touch of cyan within the transparency. Cultivation and Heart Dao realms were different, but the growth rings were different. Ning Qing suddenly remembered a line from a poem. Looking at the growth rings from the side, looking at the growth rings from the side. Maybe when he advanced to the next level, he would see a completely different scene when he looked at the growth rings. Ning Qing walked into the growth rings, and a strong life force once again swept over him. But unlike the last time, this life force had a trace of spirituality. The vast vicissitudes of time aura surged within the life force and impacted his body along with the Dao charm within the growth rings. Ning Qing took in a deep breath and crossed 10 growth rings in a row before entering the 11th circle. The last time he cultivated in the 11th circle, he finally succeeded in Dao birth. The first time he entered the 11th circle, Ning Qing felt the strong impact of the Dao charm of time. He could walk to the 11th circle entirely because of the adaptability of the mysterious yellow formless, which allowed him to crazily absorb the Dao charm of heaven and earth from the growth rings for cultivation. This time, when Ning Qing came to the 11th circle of the growth rings, he could only feel the faint flow of time aura. He didn't feel any impact at all. Or rather, the violent impact of the Dao charm of time didn't affect him at all. Ning Qing stepped into the 12th circle, 13th circle. As the Dao charm of time flowed around Ning Qing had already closed his eyes. He didn't even know how many circles he had crossed. He only knew that when the Dao charm of time was insufficient, he would take another circle. He didn't know how long he had walked, but the feeling of the passage of time washed over his soul, making Ning Qing open his eyes and stop. It was as if he had adjusted the frequency, and Ning Qing's entire soul resonated with this place. There was no need to continue. This was the place. Maybe this wasn't the deepest place he could reach, but Ning Qing felt that this was the best place for cultivation. Ning Qing sat down, but before he could throw out the spirit veins, he felt a message. The 49th circle mark of the growth ring. Chapter 11:22. The first time Ning Qing entered the annual ring cultivation ring, he had already gained some experience. The deeper one went, the better it would be for cultivation. The deeper he went into the growth rings, the longer the time would be. However, the flow of the Dao rhyme of time might not be suitable for him. The 49th annual ring meant that he had cultivated here for 49 years, but only a year had passed in the outside world. With the progress of his cultivation of the mysterious yellow formless, coupled with the help of the mysterious yellow origin, he believed that he could also reach the primordial Tao realm in about 200 years. Ning Cheng threw out one god spiritual vein after another, but he didn't take out the top-grade god spiritual vein. The spiritual aura within the growth ring was already very rich, but Ning Cheng still felt that it was not enough. He was well aware of the resources he needed for his cultivation. The Tao charm of the passage of time within the growth ring, the mysterious yellow beads origin aura, and the spiritual chi gathered by the spiritual gathering array quickly fused together, forming traces of Tao charm invisible to the naked eye. These traces of Tao charm continued to form and revolved around Ning Cheng. As time passed by, Ning Cheng's body gradually blurred, a faint golden cocoon slowly wrapped around him, before finally disappearing completely. However, the traces of Tao charm around Ning Cheng's body grew thicker and thicker. From being invisible to the naked eye, it became clearer and clearer. In the end, it even turned into a clear sound that surged out. At first, these clear sounds were only within the range of the 49th chakra mark. Later on, they slowly rushed out of the 49th chakra mark and began to spread in all directions. The first thing that formed in Ning Cheng's Tao sense was the Tao of returning to one. The great Tao is the same but has 100 worries, the same destination but different paths. The Tao charm aura wrapped around the spirit chi and blasted into Ning Cheng's mind like a morning bell and evening drum. Ning Cheng did not use any Tao pills or any techniques. Just by relying on the comprehension of this Tao rune, he broke through the early stage Tao transformation and advanced to the mid-stage Tao transformation. Ning Cheng's entire body gave off a soft sound, as if he was undergoing body refining. This clear sound mixed with the clear sound of the Tao charm outside, and in the end, it became indistinguishable. After advancing to the middle stage Tao transformation realm, the Tao rune aura around Ning Cheng's body circulated even faster, and the mysterious yellow aura also sped up. At the same time, the Tao runes around him were becoming more and more profound. They were on a completely different level from when he had first been at the early stage Tao transformation. Apart from the Tao transformation Tao runes, another kind of Tao rune also formed around Ning Cheng. This Tao rune was completely different from the Tao runes that had advanced to the middle stage Tao transformation realm. It was a completely new kind of Tao rune. The new Tao rhyme aura fused with the time Tao rhyme in the annual ring and kept rolling, as though something was about to be born. Ning Cheng was neither sad nor happy. The first time he had cultivated inside the growth ring, he felt as if he was trying to grasp something, but in the end he was not able to grasp it. This time, the object was even clearer, giving him a feeling that perhaps in the next moment he would be able to grasp that blurry object. And that blurry thing was what he desperately needed. The Tao charm around Ning Cheng's giant cocoon started to churn and roar from the churning to the roaring. The Tao charm within the 49 rings continued to flow, scouring the golden cocoon around Ning Cheng's body. Inside the cocoon, Ning Cheng, with his eyes closed, felt his consciousness becoming clearer and clearer. Ning Cheng did not open his eyes, but instead waved his hand. Boom boom. A powerful Tao rhyme surged in. His divine essence expanded wildly, and his sea of consciousness expanded wildly. He was now at the late-stage Tao transformation realm. Even if his strength soared, Ning Cheng was not affected at all. The moment Ning Cheng advanced to the late-stage Tao transformation realm, the blurry object suddenly became clear. The golden cocoon, which didn't crack even after Ning Cheng advanced to the late-stage Tao transformation realm, suddenly cracked open. Ning Cheng's body trembled, and an incomparably clear understanding surged into his heart. It was a kind of understanding that he had tried to grasp last time but failed to grasp in the end. When he advanced to the late-stage Tao transformation realm, he had an epiphany of a new time law spirit technique. Even advancing to the late-stage Tao transformation realm didn't shake the golden cocoon. Now, a crack had appeared on the cocoon due to the epiphany of the flowing time spirit technique. Time had 3 steps. First, the setting sun was infinitely beautiful, but it was nearing dusk. Second, Time was like an arrow, and the years were like a shuttle. Third, his consciousness became blurry, and the epiphany disappeared. He hadn't comprehended the third step of the flowing time spirit technique. Ning Qing didn't feel disappointed at all. He knew that it was because he hadn't reached the third step that his epiphany of the flowing time spirit technique stopped abruptly. One day, the third step would come naturally. At this moment, he realized that his spirit technique, Sunset's Twilight, and even the enhanced version of Sunset's Twilight, were just the first step of the 3 flowing time spirit techniques. The flowing time spirit technique and the Sea of Twilight were both spirit techniques derived from the time law. However, Ning Cheng felt sure that the flowing time spirit technique was completely different from the Sea of Twilight. His flowing time law spirit technique didn't move towards the Sea of Twilight, but towards the 3 flowing time spirit techniques that he had comprehended. Ning Cheng understood that it was because of the growth rings. Ning Cheng, who was still inside the golden cocoon, raised his hand slightly. The powerful flowing time Dao charm aura caused the surrounding Dao charm to pause. Ning Cheng suddenly gained some understanding of the perpetual moon sex entrapment array. The perpetual moon sex entrapment array was arranged using the time law, which far exceeded his understanding. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of the time law wasn't stopping or even reversing, but moving forward. Because of moving forward, space was formed. Unfortunately, whether it was like an arrow or a shuttle, it was still tangible. Maybe he had comprehended the flowing time spirit technique too early. If he reached the Dao essence realm, he might be able to comprehend the third step. As the flowing time Dao charm flowed, it returned to its original appearance. Ning Cheng's cocoon also regenerated. The most worthless thing in cultivation was time. When the Dao charm around Ning Cheng's golden cocoon rumbled for the 3rd time, the cocoon had already grown more than 10 times bigger than before. Endless spiritual qi rushed towards Ning Cheng before disappearing into the golden cocoon. The boundless Dao charm aura and life force also rushed towards Ning Cheng's position before disappearing into the golden cocoon. The entire growth ring was in chaos, and the flowing time Dao charm filled the place. Some of the mysterious crossing ancient clan's disciples, who were cultivating outside the growth ring, rushed out and no longer dared to stay in the chaotic flowing time Dao charm to cultivate. What's going on? All the mysterious crossing ancient clan's disciples stared at the depths of the giant tree in surprise. Li Feng, who had already brought Xiao Mozi and the others over, also looked at the flowing time Dao charm and the depths of the growth ring in shock. Patriarch, this isn't Ning. Hua Bing asked in disbelief. Li Feng took in a deep breath. After a long time, he nodded. It should be him. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing for Pil Sage Ning to enter the growth ring to cultivate. The commotion caused by his cultivation is too big. No wonder his cultivation speed is so fast. With this kind of absorption method, it would be strange if it wasn't fast. Jean Malong sighed from the side. Should we go and take a look? Hua Bing felt a little worried about the growth ring. Li Feng understood Hua Bing's meaning and waved his hand. There's no problem with the growth ring. After Ning Cheng advances, the flow of time will return to its original state. I've heard of this kind of situation before. Don't worry about it. Ning Cheng felt as if his entire body was about to explode. Endless Dao charm and spiritual qi surged towards him. Perhaps it wasn't for the golden cocoon that automatically formed around his body. Otherwise, he would have already exploded. The flowing time Dao charm rumbled. At this moment, apart from Ning Cheng and his golden cocoon, anything around him would be crushed by this terrifying Dao charm. Even the golden cocoon seemed to be unable to withstand this violent aura and began to tremble. Bang! The golden cocoon finally couldn't withstand this terrifying Dao charm and exploded. At this moment, the endless Dao charm aura directly crushed Ning Cheng's body, turning all the clothes on Ning Cheng's body into flying ashes. His skin was cut open, leaving streaks of blood, caca. As Ning Cheng's bones and flesh collapsed, the mysterious yellow origin aura rushed over. Ning Cheng still didn't open his eyes. Instead, he raised his hand and grabbed a few heavenly heaven pills and swallowed them. He didn't swallow the heavenly heaven pills to comprehend the primordial Dao realm. Instead, he wanted to use the power of the heavenly heaven pills to suppress the primordial Tao realm he comprehended. In history, Ning Cheng might be the first holy emperor to use a Tao core to block the impact of the primordial Tao realm. Kaka. When Ning Cheng was almost paralyzed, the heavenly heaven pills finally took effect. The powerful force began to push back the terrifying Tao charm. The heavenly heaven pills that Ning Cheng swallowed contained the chaotic aura of the 5 elements, which made them completely different from ordinary heavenly heaven pills. Boom! The 2 Tao charm powers blasted together, causing Ning Cheng's body to tremble. It was as if his mind, which had almost blocked his life force, had opened up a path to the heavens. The terrifying Tao charm power that came crashing down instantly rushed into the Grand Tao, no longer suppressing Ning Cheng at all. In just a few breaths, Ning Cheng felt the lack of God's spiritual qi and a sense of emptiness. At this moment, Ning Cheng couldn't care about anything else. He threw out all the spirit crystals and God spiritual veins in his ring, including the top-grade God spiritual vein. As soon as these God spiritual veins came out, they turned into endless God spiritual qi and merged with the Tao charm aura before disappearing from Ning Cheng's body. A powerful Tao charm aura emerged in Ning Cheng's mind. The shattered golden cocoon also turned into countless Tao charm auras that poured into Ning Cheng's Tao sense. A few days later, Ning Cheng opened his eyes. His eyes looked calm and quiet, no longer showing off his sharpness. Instead, they carried an irresistible aura of vitality. It was as if everything between heaven and earth was in his eyes, without exception. His long hair fluttered because of the flow of Tao charm, but it had a kind of spirituality without any dust. The Tao charm was still rumbling, but the sound was getting softer and softer. The surrounding chaotic aura also gradually subsided. Ning Cheng's crushed bones and paralyzed flesh had long since recovered. The surging vitality and Ning Cheng's powerful Tao charm aura formed a new domain at this moment, the Tao essence domain. The surging Tao charm aura finally calmed down, and the 49th circle of the annual ring returned to its original state. Ning Cheng's mind moved slightly, and a new set of Taoist robes fell on his body. This is Tao essence. Ning Cheng stared at the flowing Tao charm of time. He no longer had the urge to improve his strength. The moment he advanced to Tao Essence Divine Emperor, everything between heaven and earth seemed to become simple. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.